Everyone knows about investing. You are not allowed to wander around in the military area. But I gave the old man a kick. The building door rushed in. As everyone knows, this is the only way I can contact the military leadership. Just a few days ago, I awakened the portal that forced me to travel through another world. After 9 deaths, survive a world full of loss. But in 10 more hours, I will be forcibly transported to that bloody world again. I am weak and helpless. I can only ask for help from Guan Jiao. At this time, I got my wish and sat on the interrogation room chair. Battalion Commander Fang Tianrui sitting above the fence. Do you know that rushing into a military zone is a very serious crime? I smiled bitterly. I know, but the only ones who can help me now are you. Fang Tianrui frowned. If you have any difficulties, go to the police. You can find a community. Find the government. You drove into a military zone. What's going on? There is now enough reason to doubt. You are a spy for another country. Facing his question, I shook my head and smiled bitterly again. Really not. I suggest arranging someone immediately. Test that tablet. After all, I don't have much time. What time is enough? Pretend to be a ghost. Fang Tianrui smiled relentlessly. Going to expose my lies. Ask the technical department to bring equipment to the interrogation room. People from the technical department will be here soon. They picked up the computer and disassembled it. After seeing the internal structure, exclaimed immediately, this is not a mainstream model. Not Intel and AMD. It may be a specially made model for military use. I suggest, let the top domestic experts crack it immediately. The technical soldier's voice fell. Fang Tianrui's face couldn't help but look a little, although you still don't believe me. But I still used the satellite phone to contact the security bureau. Let the security bureau bring the top experts in the country for a visit. Only half an hour passed. A black unmarked vehicle drove into the base. National Security Bureau Zhong Zilong and Dr. Yu Jinghui walked into the interrogation room. The first time Yu Jinghui came in, I was attracted to that tablet computer. Pick it up involuntarily. Watch under the light. After a while, dismantling began. When he also saw the internal structure, take a breath. This motherboard does not belong to any model of Blue Star. CPU is not collection, but to explore. Zhong Zilong asked with doubts after hearing this. What does exploration mean? Means. This is a technology that completely surpasses Blue Star. Is a highly stable nanochip. It can also be said that, speaking of this, Yu Jinghui paused, looking out the window, in an incredible tone, probably, another product that became famous. Zhong Zilong couldn't help but widen his eyes when he heard this. Fang Tianrui's face changed to the right. Sudden news. There was a strong impulse with his knowledge. After a while, he slapped the table. Roar at me. Recruited from time to time. Where did you get this tablet? I met his angry and shocked eyes. Said word for word. From another world. A world of loss. The voice fell. I saw Fang Tianrui's pupils shrink instantly. Hit the table again the next second later. Nonsense. If you keep talking nonsense, our military law serves. I'm not afraid to ask questions. Can Blue Star build an exploration computer? Does Blue Star have this technology? Besides, I really don't have time anymore. I haven't slept in 3 days. As soon as I fall asleep, it's time to travel again. This time, I may never come back. As I spoke, my eyes gradually became dim. Yes, if the military does not believe in itself, next time travel, it's very likely that this is when he died. Zhong Zilong next to Fang Tianrui. Get over the shock. Hear my words. Immediately asked in a deep voice. What does it mean? Speak clearly. There's a countdown on my retina. When the countdown reaches 0, you will be forcibly transported to a world full of loss. There are now 7 hours and 58 minutes left. Zhong Zilong heard what I said. Lost in thought. Fang Tianrui meets Zhong Zilong. It seems like you have to believe me. Said immediately. Lao Zhong, you don't really believe it, do you? Zhong Zilong, who was deep in thought, ignored him. Picked up the disassembled tablet aside. Ask Yu Jinghui. Do you think this thing is from Blue Star? Yu Jinghui shook his head, with a hint of fanaticism. Blue Star is not a technology that I look down on. This must be alien technology. After hearing this, Zhong Zilong lowered his head and remained silent for a moment. Look at me. I believe you, but please be worthy of my trust, worthy of the country's trust. Then Zhong Zilong picked up his specially made phone. Hello, I'm the Deputy Director of the National Security Agency. I have something important to report. I urgently need to apply for the deployment of China Defense Forces. After hanging up the phone, Zhong Zilong looked at me. Now tell me everything you know. Me in the seat, saw this scene. The heart that has been tense finally relaxes. Tell everything you know. 2 days ago, a countdown suddenly appeared in front of my eyes. After the countdown reaches 0, a blue portal appeared in front of me. Suck me in. When I regain my sight again, there is already a dead city around. Everywhere in movies, zombies that only appear. It also appeared on the back of the hand. A 12-hour countdown. I was very excited at first. Thought it was a dream. It's all fake. But as I fell, that real pain, deeply rooted in my mind. I just know, this is not a dream. I really traveled through time. I started on this escape from the zombie world. Until 12 hours, countdown ends. I just returned to Blue Star. I have a hunch. As soon as I fall asleep again, most likely again, travel through that terrifying world. For this reason I have now, didn't sleep for 3 days. I really can't hold it anymore. So I came to you with my computer. I hope the country can help me. The voice fell. The scene was dead silent again. They all seemed to be digesting my unbelievable news. In the end, Zhang Zilong came to his senses first. Call 2 chemical defense soldiers. Let me isolate and be tired of blood. But at the end Zhang Zilong asked, how did you come? I came by bus. Arrived at the door. I went to Lao Chula car dealership across the street again. I bought a car that Lao Chula Chong came in. The words just fell. Beads of sweat broke out on Zhang Zilong's nervous forehead. Do you know, if you carry the virus, the entire bus street, even the whole city may be destroyed. Fortunately, reports of my swallowing blood came out soon. Not infected with virus. Zhang Zilong breathed a sigh of relief, but still did not relax his vigilance. Wait until the chemical defense troops arrive. Let everyone who comes into contact with me, all quarantined. Rumble. Several huge helicopters were also rumbling. Director of the Security Bureau Yu Guodong arrived as the top leader. After seeing me, look at me seriously. Can you really travel through time? After getting my definite answer, patted my shoulder. How long can the portal last? Can I bring large weapons? I calculated the time to answer. It can only last about a minute. In a minute it'll be forcefully inhaled. The portal will also disappear. Specifications, about 2 meters high, 2 meters wide. Large weapons probably won't be able to get through it. Then Yu Guodong in front of him asked how the world situation was over there. I said zombies are everywhere over there. No survivors seen yet. The whole city fell into dead silence. There are still 6 hours left before we can travel through time again. Yu Guodong pondered for a moment after listening. Turn around and give orders to Zhang Zilong. Immediately dispatch the War Dragon, Hunting Dragon, Black Dragon, 3 special elite teams. At the same time, it is equipped with a National Comprehensive Scientific Research Team, Environmental Analyst Medical Physician, airtight armor suit. In addition to this, biochemical leakage crises cannot be taken lightly. Immediately in the name of a nationwide nuclear strike. Start Level 1 plan. The highest level nuclear research institutions across the country, all on standby. Tentatively scheduled for 1 week. Execute immediately. Half an hour later, the whole country is boiling. Countless TVs are playing. Conduct nuclear strike drills immediately. There's also a red alert on everyone's phone. Nuclear attack protection drills will be carried out recently. Please don't panic. Residents, please cooperate. Countless armored vehicles are moving around the base. Rows of fighter jets glide across the sky. An officer in a white coat puts on a special uniform. Arrive at Nanda base. Black Dragon Hunting Dragon Chariot 3 teams. He also got into a military vehicle and rushed to the base fully armed. Assemble at the military airport. Yu Guodong stood in front wearing uniform, looking at everyone. Comrades, you are about to carry out an extremely dangerous mission, about the fate of mankind. People who don't want to go now, can exit. I swear, never pursue. Willing to perform tasks, please write a suicide note now. The country will be transferred to your families. The scene suddenly fell silent. Only the sound of rapid breathing is left. They often perform tasks, but this task of writing a suicide note, they have never seen. This means, this mission is really extremely dangerous. Mortality rate is shockingly high. After a short silence, a soldier takes out banknotes. Father, mother, child is unfilial. Couldn't come back again. Please don't be sad for me. I just did what a soldier should do. After writing this, huge tears fell down. After leaving your name, you solemnly put the letter into the iron box. Then the second, third, fourth, one after another, soldiers will write suicide notes, put in tin box. 7 or 8 minutes later, Yu Guodong solemnly closed the iron box. Give it to the adjutant. Looking at the central defender, firm voice, comrades, you are all good. You are not going to die. It's for the hope of the country. Just a few days ago, a citizen of our country accidentally mastered the gate of time and space and the ability to travel through the realm of consciousness. Time travel. Time and space gate. True or false? Isn't it a science fiction movie? All the Special Forces members below had questions in their hearts. Soon, Yu Guodong, who was standing above, gave another heavy blow. That different world traveled through. It's a world completely destroyed by zombies. Very dangerous. And that citizen has completed his first time travel. Confirmed everything I said. However, the transmission mechanism of the virus is still unclear. I don't know the specific situation of the other world. So your core mission is to help him cross over again. Collect data and samples. The most important thing is to ensure his safety. Do you understand? Then Yu Guodong looked at me. How long is the countdown? 5 hours and 30 minutes. You go and rest first. Leave the rest to us. Then Yu Guodong assigned the captains of each team to call to the conference room, begin to deploy specific combat plans. At the same time, a book called A Handbook on Survival Rules in a Zombie World, eye-catching like crazy in the printing factory. More than 90 million copies were printed overnight, distributed to countless residents. Early the next morning, I'm on a fighter jet in an airport, surrounded by Yu Guodong and 3 elite teams. I look at the countdown in front of me. 4, 3, 2, when the countdown ends, a blue light emitted before my eyes, more than 1 meter in front of you. It condenses into a light foam of about 2 meters. Everyone opened their eyes wide and looked at the light in front of me, a look of horror on his face. It's true. There really is a portal. The captains of each team were shocked. Yu Guodong, who was beside me, also opened his eyes wide at this time. But only a few seconds passed. His face returned to its iron-blooded composure. Look at each team. Special Operations Team prepares to enter. The Scientific Research Team keeps up. Remember to keep him safe at all costs. Wait for the Special Operations Team and others to enter. The Scientific Research Team followed suit carrying various equipment. Finally Yu Guodong looked at me. Have a safe journey, comrade. This time the country is standing behind you. Thanks, I'm here again. But this time I'm not alone. My back. Standing from my motherland. As I step in, the dazzling blue light curtain flashes several times. Converge quickly. The picture in front of me is offshore. Wait until you regain your sight again. I have appeared in a dead and silent divine chamber. Break the wall. Gravel everywhere. There are several naked corpses on the ground that have long been dried. The Scientific Research Team proved that there were groups of corpses around. Team members who take the first step. At this time, I was already on guard around with my equipment. I take a deep breath. Still in the same position as last time. It seems that the location of the crossing is fixed. Songje, commander of the combat team, pointing to the fresh corpse far down the road. Just got rid of some zombies. Their weak point is their head. Once you regret the central nervous system, zombies will die. Right. What is your countdown this time? I looked at the time on my retina and exhaled. 24 hours. Songja thought for a moment after listening. Wait for the Scientific Research Team to finish sampling. Set off immediately. More than 10 minutes later, the Scientific Research Team has completed the planning. A team member ran to Songja's body. Report. No survivors nearby. The zombie swarm in the west is moving south. There are fewer zombies in the east. It is recommended to head east. Songja nodded. Attention all teams. The Dragon Team takes the lead. After clicking on the Dragon Team, Scientific Research Group is in the middle. The Dragon Team is ready to support you. Push eastward. Soon everyone walked eastwards for about 2 kilometers. Encountered many zombies on the way. They were all defeated by the Dragon Squad with one sword after another, until I passed a bookstore. Songja looked at the store. Search store. Time 20 minutes. Everyone immediately broke down the door and entered to search. I'm in a messy store. Pick up a magazine. The cover is some kind of high-tech mechanical device. The level of science and technology in this world. Last time it was also synchronized with Blue Star, and some places even go far beyond. Songja nodded. His team members quickly found several more electronic devices. The people from the Scientific Research Team immediately took out the video equipment. But the video, then he videotaped various found books. It's almost done. Songja ordered on the radio. Time has come. Everyone must stop immediately. The Scientific Research Team and team members are preparing to evacuate. Click. There was a slight cracking sound above the head. Everyone looks up. Wooden reception desk on the second floor of the bookstore. Yinfenghua sways in the wind. Then use the call to action. A sound. Hit the ground. The sound resounds throughout the existence. Path to a few blocks of zombies. When the ice hit the cave, he fainted and roared, showing a bloodthirsty smile. Rushing towards the bookstore, Songja's pupils shrank sharply. Pick up the radio. Give an order now. All Special Forces members are ready to fight. The team of more than 20 people instantly formed a formation. The gun is pointed at the entrance door of the bookstore. The researchers and I were protected behind us. Hold your breath. About a few breaths. A dozen zombies with rotting flesh appeared in the street scene, running towards the bookstore. The speed is about the same as a normal person running. Songja's eyes flashed. Instruct everyone to put on silencers. Aim and shoot at the dozens of zombies ahead. Bang bang bang. The bullet accurately penetrated the zombie's head. The black branches are visible. In a few seconds, all these dozen zombies fell to the ground. Songja gave instructions on the radio. Release elite drones. Several Special Forces members took action immediately. Open the portable terminal. Deploy elite reconnaissance drones. Raspberry Silver reconnaissance plane takes off. Expand the picture on the screen. From a bird's eye view, the street outside the bookstore. At this time, another group of zombies came, heading towards the bookstore. The number is about 30. The reconnaissance plane continues to explore. Soon everyone discovered, except for the 30 flesh-mouthed zombies that came. Other zombies coming are more hidden. All have lost their target direction. Back to original position. Everyone could not help but breathe a sigh of relief. Not bad, just these 30 twists and turns left. Not a big problem. Soon zombies swarmed in. Bullets shot into the eyebrows. Destroyed in a moment. After confirming safety, scientific researchers, rapid collection of tissue and blood, but soon a researcher discovered, bullets destroy brain health, complete cessation of neural activity, but zombie blood is extremely active. The virus is still alive inside. Anyone who injects this blood, they will turn into zombies in a short time. Manhua Yang immediately issued the order, remove obstacles to scientific research. No one is allowed to come into contact with zombie blood, and flesh and blood tissue. Once touched, report immediately. After confirming that all the zombies attracted have been eliminated, everyone moves on. Silent drone approaches at high altitude. I looked at the overhead view from the drone. Building collapse. Mummy corpses can be found everywhere. I asked Songja in a low voice, do you think there are still people alive in this world? Songja looked at the screen and pondered for a moment. Maybe. But if there are survivors, the quantity will never be large. Night falls. The team is stationed in a dilapidated supermarket. I sit on the ground, looking out the window. A deserted city. It's so quiet. Songja holding a gun beside him. Then look out the window at the sky. Yes, look at the moon above. Much bigger than blue stars. Surrounding stars. Arrangement and brightness, etc. Completely different from blue star. I followed his gaze. Strange stars shine in the dark night. This is the sign of Songja's intercom. Captain, I noticed something was wrong outside. Come out and take a look. After hearing this, Songja immediately put on his night vision goggles. Look outside. I also put on my night vision and looked outside. Only saw, at a position of 300 or 400 meters, several twisted figures came up the corridor. But compared to daytime, the state of zombies should be relaxed and floating. The speed is also much faster than during the day. People in the scientific research team hold blood tissue samples. Come to your side, whispered. According to changes in blood activity, we infer physical fitness of zombies at night. It will be about doubled. The mental state will also fall into a state of excitement. The risk is greatly increased. Songja looked serious after hearing this. Divide your team members into 3 groups. Night shift. The next day, wait for the zombies to slow down. The team continues to move forward. Soon, in a residential building, a weathered corpse was found. Bullet holes in the wall behind the head and back, and radioactive blood stains, and a scattered pistol. The scientific research team determined that there is no danger. Seal the pistol in your hand. Then I found an old diary. There are unfamiliar words written on it. The scientific research team collected it. The team moves on. Soon we arrived outside a fence. After everyone turned over, suddenly one by one the same group shrank. In the square in the distance, there are at least 1,000 greasy zombies. I subconsciously hold my breath, looking at Songja aside. Songja's face also turned a little pale. Take out the telescope and look. Found these thousands of zombies. There are a few zombies that are quite strange. Their skin is no longer a miserable color, but cyan. The muscles under the skin bulge. Even if you move during the day, you are quite feminine. The eyeball is not completely cloudy, able to detect movement around you. Songja put away the telescope, by hand held. Let the team move forward. Arrive at a parking lot. The countdown in my eyes is still left. More than 20 minutes. Songja decided immediately. Use this as the return distance. Let the surrounding soldiers be on alert. Quietly wait for the passage of time. Soon, The countdown in my eyes has reached 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, a blue beam of light bounced in my eyes again, condensed into a blue teleportation light curtain in front of him. Players break up. The people from the scientific research team and I stepped into the light curtain first. Songja then directed the team members to enter the light curtain in an orderly manner. Other side. My eyes went dark again. Wait until it appears again. Already returned to Blue Star. Under the command of Yu Guodong and others. Entered the isolation cabin immediately. Advanced Transmission Department. All of them also entered the split isolation cabin. Subsequently, saturation killing was carried out. After everything is over, only then did the personnel from the CDC report to Yu Guodong. No infection found. Disinfection completed. I also came out of the isolation cabin, but I heard it as soon as I came out. Yu Guodong said to the people around him with a serious face. A bit strange. With the technology and level of that world, just because this virus is not going to die out, there must be other reasons. Have the code-breaking experts arrived? Let them decipher the books they brought back immediately. It means that Guodong has arranged all the matters. He just looked at me. How long is the countdown? I looked at the countdown in front of me. I couldn't help but be a little surprised. The countdown has changed. The last 2 times it was time to travel within 24 hours. This time it actually turned into 48 hours. Then I told Yu Guodong about the matter. Yu Guodong finished listening. After pondering for a few seconds, this is also a good thing. You can have a good rest. We can also make more preparations. Yu Guodong then returned to the command room. Release documents quickly. The first phase of the zombie world ends. To detect virus leaks, immediately cancel nationwide nuclear protection drills. With the release of the document, news and networks began to spread the news. Hundreds of thousands of people participated in the drill. It boils immediately, hugging each other one by one, crying with joy. Scared me to death. I thought there was really going to be a war. It's okay if you don't hit. It's okay if you don't hit. Fight for a while. I don't know when it will end. At the same time, countless writing experts in the country are working in the scientific research building. Work hard to specialize in special characters. Soon, with the efforts of hundreds of experts, a writing system similar to the language of Blue Star's ancient civilization. There is only one country on the continent, the Star Empire. The hierarchy of the Star Empire is very strict. It's not uncommon for a family of 3 to starve to death. Emperor of the Star Empire ordered the development of a potion that would make people obedient, but accidentally developed a neurovirus. This virus can make infected people lose your mind, keep moving and obey orders without eating or drinking. An Imperial scientific research official stated in his notes. We naively thought, got the key to control humans. The result was an evil fire that devoured souls. Emperor of the Star Empire. Know our research results. Crazy. Loyalty does not require reason. It's better to say there is no reason. Obedience is true reason. He ordered infected people to be transformed into engines. Put hoods and special gloves on them in prison. Let the infected person step on the power wheel. Generate electricity day and night. Later the emperor inspected and laughed. Even if you die, you can still contribute to the country. This is called loyalty. Later the emperor built power plants across the country. Tie the unconscious infected to the wheel. Generate electricity day and night. Finally, he even extended his hand to the people. Countless people were arrested, become infected and thrown into power plant. Even to the end, 80% of the country's population has become infected. The emperor thought he had eternal energy in his hands. Little did he know that it was the silver thread of hell. When strengthening the zombie organization's operations, power plants come one after another. The military is vulnerable to infected people. The emperor used the flesh and blood of the entire civilization, cultivated an emerging homogeneous class of organisms. Later, we saw that advanced infected bodies learned to cooperate, learned to climb, learned to retake the exam. That moment, I know. Finished. It's all over. I read the information for a while. There is an indescribable feeling in my heart. A vast empire. It collapsed so easily. At noon, Yu Jinghui also found me. In the past data, there is also a map. 200 kilometers to the north, there is a core lithography factory and fusion energy center. According to the items and information you brought back, detector chip, photolithography process, and fusion function, technology is at least 50 years ahead of us. That photolithography factory, it is highly possible to preserve the Empire's high-end technology system. If some data can be retrieved, it is very likely to bring a leap-forward breakthrough to Blue Star. So I suggest you head north next time. After sending Yu Jinghui away, I received another notification from Yu Guodong. The next crossing location will be moved to Lopner. The plane to pick me up is already on the way. Soon I was on the plane, looking out the window. Sigh, what an irony. A civilization with highly developed science and technology. Don't bother with the obedient potion. Study chemistry. The plane will land soon. I get off the plane. The hot wind is blowing in the face with dust and sand on the buttocks. A young woman stepped forward. Hello, I am Qin Sinyu. Be your psychiatrist. I looked at Songja, who had been waiting here for a long time. Songja smiled and said, you are now a subject of international protection. I'm afraid you'll be stimulated in that world. Affect mental health. This lady is the psychiatrist assigned to you by the country. I shook my head speechlessly. Look at the countdown in front of you. 2 hours left. Wait until I enter the base. 15 specially made off-road vehicles are lined up in front of you. Qin Sinyu beside him said, this time we have equipped you with a fully functional off-road vehicle. The number of people in the team has also reached 40. This is also the country's emphasis on your safety. I touched the material of the vehicle. Very thick, stronger than any car I've ever seen. Glass is also a special glass. Bullets can't even leave scratches on it. Soon, as the team gathers, the countdown in my eyes is about to reach 0. The radio in the base also sounded the countdown. 1987. 3, 2, a blue light shines again in my eyes. Songja gave an order. The in-team drove in first. Songja and I looked at each other. Also entered later. The scientific research team also followed up again. My eyes went dark again. Wait until you regain your sight. I've reappeared in a world full of loss. This time is different from last time. This time through time. Appear directly in the parking lot where you left before. Songja in the driver's seat spoke via radio. Issue various instructions. The leader of the Lilong team. The rear of the Black Dragon squad. The research team and I walked in the middle. The Standing Dragon team walks on both sides. Travel target. It is a cross-flow fusion energy center 200 kilometers away in the north. Confirm everyone has received the goods. The convoy sets off immediately. The roar of the engine alerted the surrounding zombies. The team's off-road vehicle is worth a full Roma. Hit several zombies directly. The sound of machinery coming from the roof. Unmanned aerial vehicles soared into the sky. Scout nearby areas in the peak. Real-time transmission of surrounding terrain. After everything is arranged, Songja looked back at the surveillance camera. Look at me and ask, how long is this countdown? I glanced at the countdown in front of me. 3 days. Song Juenian frowned. What a coincidence this time. I smiled and said, after these several time travels, I have a hunch. Experience a few more time travels. I can control the specific time of the portal. Song Juenian's eyes lit up. True or false? If only I could really control the opening time. We don't have to be so passive anymore. When do you want to cross over? Guess for yourself. But while chatting with Songja, the security team member is on the radio. Tell us to look southwest. Songja and I looked at it at the same time. Seen more than a kilometer away, a 20-meter tall giant zombie is moving slowly. Behind them were a group of zombies with blue skin and muscular muscles. I took a breath. How can zombies evolve to this extent? Songja immediately directed the convoy to distance themselves. Qianli took a detour from the original route. Can't wait to see the giant zombies. Songja picked up the radio and warned. Everyone, don't take it lightly. The emergence of giant zombies represents the terror of the virus. More dangerous than indicated in the data. There must be dangers that we cannot foresee. Everyone must cheer up. Be careful. Dig out the radio. Songja looked at the dead city and spoke. Do you feel behind this zombie crisis? It's not as simple as losing control. Just like the giant zombie just now. I doubt it. This is a living weapon deliberately made by the Star Empire. It's just that this weapon finally got out of control. I fell into silence listening to Songja's words. The sky is getting darker. Sporadic lights appear in the darkness in the distance. The voice of a teammate came over the radio. Captain, 12 o'clock ahead. There seems to be someone on the defense line. Do you need to go and have a look? What if it's a survivor base? There must be more news about the world. Songja hesitated for a few seconds and refused. Move on. Don't make extraneous matters. Our destination is the Cross-Flow Fusion Energy Center. The convoy continued to move forward for 2 hours. Cross-Flow Fusion Energy Center finally arrives. Rooftop drone launched for reconnaissance. Seen inside the center. Resistance will soon show. Huge energy overwhelmed him. Songja immediately ordered, create an action array. The vigilance team stayed behind at the vehicle formation. Once there is a situation, report immediately. The rest follow my lead. The crowd slowly advanced along the main passage. From time to time, the roars of zombies can be heard in my ears. Several zombies noticed that the animals were uneasy. The soldiers immediately fired with firearms with silencers. After a slight roar, zombies fell to the ground one after another. Songjia followed the signs on the wall. Lead the team to Hengliu Center. Cleaned up the zombies. The scientific research team follows the instructions. Everyone knows through the information left behind. It has been built here for over 200 years. At that time, there was a peerless genius in the Star Empire known as the Father of Hengliu, overcoming the 10 major difficulties in nuclear fusion alone. Let the Empire's nuclear fusion technology advance by leaps and bounds. This palace has also become a miracle of the Empire. Everyone then went to the energy core. The scientific research team takes out the sampling device. A middle-aged researcher was excited when he looked at the core material. The core technology and heat-resistant layer technology here, much higher than Blue Star. I need to bring some samples back for research. The scientific research team took out the video equipment. Take careful notes on the core area. As sampling progresses, the middle-aged researcher looked increasingly excited. Stacking of these materials is extremely stable, has natural stability and radiation resistance. And they also used a crystal with superconductivity. As long as we bring these samples back, the country's nuclear energy development will surely advance by leaps and bounds. Even completely enter the use stage. It's not impossible. These words made the entire scientific research team excited. Everyone hopes to make contributions to the country, leave a footprint in the history of scientific research. The middle-aged researcher immediately directed everyone to cut the materials, put the sample into the storage box. Just when the sealing work is over, the alarm sound of the left-behind team members came from Songjia's earphones. Southeast direction. 2 giant zombies found. Moving forward at a speed of 6 kilometers per hour. Limited distance of 1 kilometer. Estimated arrival in 10 minutes. Songjia's face darkened. Order immediately. Immediately deploy anti-tank high-explosive mines. Always ready for us. Then he turned to me and the research team. All people in the research group, retreat immediately. Return the same route. Beat on command. Everyone quickly prepared to evacuate. Rush out of the energy center after half a minute. I panted heavily and followed behind. Closer to the door. The more you can feel the slight trembling of the ground. 10 seconds later, there was an explosion from the direction of the convoy left behind. I know it in my heart. Anti-tank high-explosive mine explodes. It means that the giant zombie is close at hand. The speed of everyone's advance accelerated again. When another explosion came, we're back to the car. I opened the car door and sat in. Songjia kicked the net. The engine emits wind and rain. I turned to look in the direction of the explosion. Only 300 or 400 meters in sight. 2 giant zombies roared and rushed past. There's shrapnel hanging on the body. The wind roars in the direction of the convoy. Songjia immediately directed the convoy to evacuate. Giant zombie body, huge speed, naked. Let go of 525 for a few breaths. Songjia stared at the monitor and pondered. Pick up the radio and order. Convoy slows down. Maintain the same speed as giant zombies. Test various data of giant zombies. Scientific research team notes. The convoy slows down. A team member stepped out of the car, set up an antimaterial sniper rifle and target the giant zombies. Bang! The huge bullet hit the zombie's forehead. The wind made a small crater, but the giant zombie just swayed, let out an angry roar, rushing forward with great strides and speeding up. The small pit on my forehead is still recovering rapidly. I was dumbfounded. The trembling voice of the scientific research team came from the radio. This is a repair cell burst, not one time. It is definitely a designed life form. Songjia was silent for a few seconds. Order again. Replace high explosive bombs with fake bombs. Team members on the roof quickly changed their ammunition. Bang, gunshot. A ball of sparks exploded from the giant zombie's forehead. The injured body swayed and fell down, but the next second he got up again. The surface tissue of the forehead was blown up, exposing the metallic luster of tissue under the skin. Everyone in the scientific research team shouted in shock. This is biometallized tissue. Viruses directly rewrite the cellular structure. This is incredible. Songjia finished listening. Directly order the replacement of mortars. Team members set up mortars. Shoot multiple rounds at giant zombies. Conclusion: ordinary weapons are ineffective. The giant zombie's body is extremely strong. You can try the firepower. Sonja immediately kills it. Order all vehicles preparing individual cloud explosive bombs to keep a safe distance. A small mushroom cloud suddenly rose, thousands of degrees high temperature swept across, and a scorching heat wave with it and came. The heat wave and firelight dissipated. The outer tissue of the giant zombie had been burned to coke by the high temperature, but it was still not dead. Stand up unsteadily. Start wandering aimlessly. The scientific research team reported via radio. Giant zombies' visual and olfactory systems destroyed by high temperatures. Calculated based on the recovery speed of giant zombie cells. It takes 2 days. That is to say, high temperature flame. Enable them to do so within a certain period of time. The risk is greatly reduced. Sonja Yang ordered. Release strategic drones. Drop white spirit bombs and thermite bombs. Several drones take off from the roof of the car. Take the ammunition and head straight for the remaining giant zombie. Woo sound. White spirit bombs and thermite bombs. High temperature flames spread on the zombies. Giant zombies howl in pain. Loss of vision and smell soon. Bumping around like headless cooking. Test task completed. Sonja immediately directed the convoy to speed away. Call up the location of the Starlight Lithography Center and set it as the destination. Galloping all the way. Arrive at destination in 1 hour. Everyone pried open the deformed alloy door. The road is a mess. There are traces of battle everywhere. Mutilated corpses are everywhere. Sonja picked up a broken piece of raw gold and handed it to the scientific research team. The researcher holds the observation film in his hand. Exclaimed, "This is the carbon tube precision structure. It can be inferred from this. They are already capable of stable yields at the nanoscale." The scientific research team looked at the machine in the corner again. He stepped forward to study it and said, "This is an intelligently calibrated quantum system. Their machines do not require human labor. The machine can correct errors by itself." People continue to go deeper. Rows of photolithography machines full of technology appear in front of you. The scientific research team took out detection equipment for testing. Get results quickly. Boot system corruption, but the control logic is still there. The core is the oscillation interference array, and it's still complete. Just take back a few samples. The country's chips will usher in rapid development. No need to get stuck anymore. Sonja's eyes flashed with joy. Ask team members to help disassemble key modules. After being packed into a sealed box, it is ready to be pushed forward. Just then, the voice of the security team came over the radio. "Captain, survivors are approaching. No weapons have been found among the 3 targets yet." Everyone was shocked when they heard this. There are really survivors. Sonja was also a little surprised. Immediately arranged for the Black Dragon team to take the scientific research team to negotiate. Simultaneously call up the real-time picture of the portable drone. On screen, the Black Dragon team and the scientific research team stopped more than 10 meters away from the survivors. A man among the survivors writes on the ground. Learned after translation. He wanted to exchange gold for some water and food. The Black Dragon team didn't ask for gold. Just throw some supplies over there. Then asked for some information. Learned that giant zombies are not the strongest existence. There are more terrifying zombies. It's just that they've never seen it. These people come from a small survivor base of only 30 or 50 people. The cause of the zombie outbreak. They don't even know anything. The Black Dragon team then asked the 3 of them to leave. After everyone reunited with the Black Dragon team, come to the material mining area of the photolithography factory. Here is a rare superconducting probe. The scientific research map looks like. Plan to bring back Blue Star to try artificial synthesis. After all work is completed, everyone return to the convoy to rest. I lean back in my seat. A deep feeling of fatigue comes over me. Fall into deep sleep. When wake up again, the countdown in my eyes only has 5 minutes left. The fleet is already ready. Sonja patted me on the shoulder and smiled. Don't sleep anymore. Every time I drive in, my eyes go dark. When the light comes back again, already in Lochner's underground isolation cabin, the electronic speaker above sounded. All vehicles confirmed to return. All personnel prepared. Start saturation kill program. Pungent white mist instantly enveloped the convoy. After the white fog dissipates, Sonja and I got off the car one after another. The scientific research team immediately reported the results to the leaders. Sonja reported on the action. When Yu Guodong learned of the existence of giant zombies, decide immediately. Don't drive an off-road vehicle next time you travel across the country. Open the main warrior tank directly, equipped with new armor-piercing bullets. These words made everyone in the conference room stunned. The main battle tank is the main equipment currently in service in Xia State. Paired with armor-piercing bullets, The power is amazing. Yuanfei mortar shell. But the fish country is not over yet. An order to bring the king of individual combat and rocket head. The explosive power of this weapon is equivalent to 6 tons of TNT. Everyone heard the news. The mouth is open enough to fit a duck egg in. To ensure our safety, the country actually came up with such a powerful weapon. After coming out of the conference room, Qin Xingyu chatted with me for a while. I had half an hour of psychological counseling. I learned that there are still 5 days left for the next time to travel. He directly helped me take 4 days off. Later, accompanied by Qin Xingyu and 2 members of the Black Dragon team, we went to climb Mount Huangshan. Halfway up the mountain, I look at the thousands of lanterns in the city below, lost in thought. At the top of Dengeling Mountain, just in time for sunrise, I yelled, "Let out all the fears I have accumulated recently." Afterwards we returned to the Devil's Gate. This is where I grew up, but only a few hours after landing, I met my ex-girlfriend. He is holding a man in a haute couture suit. It's Su Ming. Su Ming saw Qin Xingyu. I suddenly lit up. I just wanted to leave. He was stopped. Su Ming walked up to Qin Xingyu, staring at his face with a greedy look. "Make a price. 100,000, 300,000, 500,000. You say whatever you want. I can accept it. After all, you are a beauty of your level. Really little money." I looked at my ex-girlfriend. She smiled awkwardly, but he still didn't let go of Su Ming's hand. Is this the power of money? 1 million is really not enough. Su Ming saw Qin Xingyu didn't react, clamping the frame with some annoyance. In her opinion, there is no woman in this world that money cannot buy. But she soon froze. Qin Xingyu seemed not to have heard a million voices. "Take my arm. If no one asks, is this your ex-girlfriend? Not too bad." Finished. She ignored the 2 people's livid faces. "Pull me still and leave." Evening. Qin Xingyu is chatting with me about interesting things from the past. A member of the Black Dragon team came close to me and whispered, "Someone wants to attack you. We have contacted the nearby security bureau. You don't have to worry about safety issues." I nodded calmly. Continue chatting with Qin Xingyu. 10 minutes later, people from the security bureau arrived. Quickly subdue the suspect. After interrogation, it was learned these people are Su Ming's men, because Su Ming was embarrassed on the street during the day. So I sent someone to teach me a lesson. After Yu Guodong learned about this incident, he expressed that he would not be punished severely. Immediately send people to thoroughly investigate the illegal activities of Su Ming and his son, together with the network behind them. Uproot all together. Within a few days, Su Ming and his son were imprisoned. I've almost played it too. Looking at the countdown, there are only 2 days left. Then he returned to Lopner with Qin Xingyu and others. After meeting Songzhe, my heart skipped a beat. Songzhe introduced from the side. Whether it's a tank or an armored vehicle, the equipment above is all specially made, and equipped with the latest defense systems. The moment the countdown reaches 0, the blue light curtain appears again. Tanks and armored vehicles roar. Im, sitting in the tank command room, picked up the radio and said, "This countdown is 3 days. There's enough time. Go. Go find those giant zombies. Try the firepower." Songzhe gave an order. Radar turns on overrange scanning. The convoy moved forward not long ago. I found a giant zombie. Behind the drone, the screen is projected into the tank in real time. I saw that giant zombie casting a shadow in the field of vision. There are still large pieces of glue flying on the body. It's the one I encountered before. The people in the scientific research team were shocked. Sure enough, this kind of cellular fire, it will basically recover in a few days. By order. Number 1 Tank Crew. Main gun firing. A huge bang. Cannonballs are accurate to 1 meter. The head of the giant zombie was penetrated directly. Head blown off. Falling to the ground with the gun drawn. Completely thundered the sound machine. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief when they saw this. Infinite power cheers. If even tank shells can kill, they will have to replan their subsequent itinerary. The people in the scientific research team were very excited, offered to clear out the entire group of zombies, studying the internal structure of giant zombies. Songzhe agreed to the request. Order the armored vehicles to advance. Rockets and all kinds of firepower poured in. It didn't take long to clean up the corpses. Songzhe ordered again. Conduct drone reconnaissance to see if there are any remnants. After confirming safety, the scientific research team is protected by the Black Dragon team. Come to the corpse of the giant zombie. Via drone footage, I saw researchers wearing gloves. Knocked on the zombie. There was a metallic clang. They took out the detector and scanned. Then he said, 5 density exceeding conventional alloys. Armor equivalent to at least 300 mm thickness. I need to cut off more of it and take it back to study. High precision chainsaw starting. Soon. A 30-centimeter piece of shell and flesh and blood tissue was packed into a suitcase. Sampling ends. Everyone boarded the armored vehicle and continued moving forward. Didn't go far. The radar scanned a group of survivors. Drone confirmation. Exactly the same people we met last time. The tank then headed in their direction. After meeting, the man who exchanged supplies last time came out. Through translation software, we learn his name is Duke. Duke said he meant no harm. The survivors put down their weapons. The Black Dragon team inspected and confirmed it was safe. I just got off the tank. The members of the Dragon team immediately stood guard around me. Duke's eyes fell on me. Take a few steps forward and clasp your hands. Said gratefully, thank you so much. The supplies you gave me last time helped us a lot. It doesn't matter. Just a little water and food. Right. Where are you from? Duke said they came from the west. A small survivor base. I came out this time to look for food. Hear the explosion over here. Just came over to check on the situation. He asked curiously where we were from. Said he had never seen such a powerful weapon. I answered with a smile. I come from a very far away place. I came here just to check the situation. Duke's eyes fell on the tanks and armored vehicles. Face full of envy. Your weapons look very strong. Stronger than any weapon I've ever seen. These are all developed by our country. Is there anything stronger than this? Duke looked shocked. There is actually something more powerful than this. After a moment of silence, Duke said yes. Is there any food? Our base is running out of food. There's gold here. I can exchange it with you for gold. I waved my hand to say no. Then a soldier was called. I got some water and food and gave them to him. Duke trembled and thanked. Thank you. The tank convoy then headed towards its next destination, mining area to the southwest. After 7 or 8 hours, we finally arrived at the mining area. Black Dragon team alert. Dragon hunting team and fighting dragon team search for ore. Research team collects data. Soon everyone got about 2 tons of ore. Among them are zero carbon ore and ultra gold ore. There are also some relatively rare mineral materials. Alert. There are zombies 200 meters away. Songjia shouted. I looked up and saw an ordinary zombie in the distance. Drill through the stone chopsticks. But the next second the armored vehicle came over, directly pressed into flesh and bone. When there is still an hour left in the portal, everyone has completed the collection task, chatting while sitting in tanks and armored vehicles. Good harvest this time. Not only did they eliminate giant zombies, got a sample of a giant zombie, and collected so much ore. Take these ores back for experiments. The country's technological level. It will definitely be greatly improved. I glanced at everyone. Everyone's face is full of smiles. I also smiled happily. Soon as time goes by, the countdown in my eyes has returned to 0. The portal opens again. A blue light curtain appeared in front of everyone's eyes. But this time I seem to feel something different in my heart. I have a thought. Make it bigger. The edge of this blue light curtain. It actually expanded a bit. Make it smaller. The edge that had just expanded shrank back again. My heart skipped a beat. Tried it again. This portal can really change according to my thoughts. Then I controlled it to close. Let it open again. This blue light curtain actually closed and then opened again. Everyone on the side saw the portal closing and opening again. I couldn't help but be stunned. Finally, Songjia asked tremblingly, "Can you control the portal?" I responded excitedly, "Yeah." Songjia Yang was immediately overjoyed. No longer an accidental portal, but a stable cross-border channel. This is an epic breakthrough. This means that future strategies may need to be adjusted. The country will develop more rapidly. Enter a new opportunity. After the excitement, everyone drove tanks and armored vehicles into the portal. My eyes went dark again. Wait until you regain your sight. I have returned to Lopner. After a series of saturation kills, Songjia immediately reported the news. The state quickly issued an order. Let us take Lopner as the core. Officially established a world development base. A week later, thousands of scientific researchers arrived. 100 kilometers of military, civil and goods construction. Dozens of buildings are rising. 2 heavily armed combined brigades at the check-in base. I also have a deeper understanding of the application of portals. I can pass the limits of energy flow. Set 3 modes for the portal. No entry or exit, one-way traffic, and two-way traffic. On Wednesday I received the order from the state. Let me come to a huge square and open the portal. I was shocked as soon as I came to the square. All I saw were densely packed with people. Various rocket vehicles and tanks and armored vehicles, lined up in 7 or 8 rows. I even saw a 10-meter long, a missile launch vehicle more than 20 meters long. After the shock, I know that the country is preparing to officially set foot in a different world. Otherwise, we wouldn't have planned to send out 2 heavy armored combined brigades. So I used all my strength to cast the blue light curtain. Suddenly, A portal hundreds of meters wide appeared in the huge square. The steel torrent roars. Enter the portal in an orderly manner, entering different worlds one after another. A week later, I'm standing in front of the observation platform of the command center of another world, looking at the greatly changed appearance of the station. The location of this heavy-duty synthetic tour is quite good. Stationed on the outskirts of cities around mines, you can actually get some resources from the city by being far away from it. The mine is also close, convenient for mining. But that's not the point. The point is that military infrastructure has also come to a different world. Crazy infrastructure at the station. A satellite launch base was built in 5 days, and released swarms of drones. Conduct a comprehensive examination of the world. Maybe too many people gathered together. The breath on the body is sensed by zombies. The zombies in the city caused a mass loss of 7 to 8,000 people, attacking towards the station. The station's satellite immediately sensed the loss of tide. The alarm suddenly sounded. Wang Zhong, the commander-in-chief of another world, immediately commanded one of the reloads and idioms, preparing on the cutting edge. To be sure, some rocket vehicles and tanks are also ready. Wait until the zombies enter the best coverage area of firepower. Immediately command long-range artillery troops to carry out fire saturation strikes. The image I sent via drone, I saw more than a dozen armored vehicles being opened by armor, expose cannonballs, launch an attack on the zombie swarm more than 10 kilometers away. Then I saw dozens of small mushrooms set off among the zombies. Zombies were crushed in the explosion. A few minutes later, the gunfire subsided. The observer's report came from the command room. There are no signs of life in the target area. The zombie swarm is temporarily under full supervision. Is this the strength of the country? This is too scary. A group of nearly 10,000 zombies. He was wiped out without even meeting him. I really wonder how those zombie movies were filmed. Those countries will be destroyed by zombies. Unbelievable. The next half-month, the military industry in the station is still building frantically. Radar multiple positions. Electromagnetic gun defense tower, AR automatic roving turret, Thor hospital, military factories and other facilities, landed one by one. Less than a month, this suburb formed the prototype of a base. Every morning, dozens of vehicles drive toward the mine, returned with a full load in the evening. Strategic minerals such as zero carbon and super gold continuously sent back to Blue Star through the portal. At the same time, Bai Wu in the Huaxiao Research Institute, gritting his teeth and looking at the test results in his hands, failed again. Eagle blocks the materials used in the lithography machine too tightly. According to current material restrictions, want to catch up with the Eagle General, at least. Takes 50 years. Too bad. Just as they are still figuring out how to get past the lockdown, the office door was suddenly pushed open. One researcher expressed excitedly, "Report to the director. This is the newly delivered material, called Ling carbon ore and super gold ore. It is said that photolithography can be performed directly." Bai Wui was stunned. "Thought I heard wrong. What a joke. What materials can be directly photolithographed? It's just a dream." He doesn't believe there is such material at all. But when he saw the spiritual carbon ore under the sunlight, glowing with faint blue light, there seems to be crystals flowing inside. His pupils couldn't help but shrink. Pick up the material and put it under the light to observe carefully. The more you observe the expression of excitement on your face, the more serious it becomes. After a long time, he looked up and asked, "Where did this thing come from?" The researchers carefully said, "Confidential." Bai Wu frowned. "With my authority, is there anything confidential? Could it be alien technology?" Bai Wu chuckled lightly. "Look seriously. Okay, no matter where you come from, since it can conduct electricity, it can resonate, then I will let him be the brain of Daxiaguang technology." After saying that, he got a handful of super ore towards the experimental area. At the same time, one in another world, inside a small survivor base, Duke excitedly told the leadership consultant, "Leader, I met that group of people again. They are really different. After the end, we all know how disgusting and dirty human nature is. Stop talking about helping people. Just don't take advantage of the situation. Already considered good, but those people actually helped me twice unconditionally. There is no gold for them. This is a saint. There are no saints in this world anymore. That group of people definitely has a purpose. It's just that we don't know. Leader, you didn't see them then. You can feel that in them. Pure sincere feeling. If they are really bad people, I would rather the world be destroyed." Just talking. There was a violent explosion outside. Rumbling. The whole small base is shaking gently. Countless debris fell from the ceiling. The guards rushed in and reported in panic. "Leader, it seems like someone is fighting outside." Ji Yuwen looked up. Great change in expression. "Listen to the sound. Like gunfire." And it's a heavy artillery. At least half an army of this size can be mounted and shot. Impossible. The empire has been destroyed for 50 years. Even if there are remnants of the army, it's impossible to have this kind of firepower density. This is heaven's punishment. Duke, how many people will you take to investigate? Duke and others quickly followed the direction of the sound, but as it approaches, the look of shock in their eyes became more serious. Only saw countless steel torrents converge into a giant dragon in the distance. Conduct protective strikes against zombie groups in the distance. Those zombies are under fire. Like chickens, dogs, and dogs, they are reduced to ashes. The same goes for the terrifying giant zombies. Under cover of artillery fire, become a pile of minced meat. Everyone in Duke's eyes was straightened. Where did this army come from? Too terrible. Fighting zombies is just like finishing. Duke recovers. Go back and report to the leader. But Duke and others just turned around. 7 or 8 armored vehicles roared with heavy smoke. Came behind them. A heavily armed soldier got out of the car. Countless laser red dots fell on them. Then an older soldier came forward. The translator emitted a cold mechanical voice. Hello, our leader invites you to drink tea. Duke then followed the soldiers to the military camp. As soon as they entered, I was shocked speechless by the sight in front of me. Rows of tanks and armored vehicles parked quietly aside. A phalanx of hundreds of rocket cars. There is a strong smell of gunpowder in the air. The footsteps of soldiers are sonorous and powerful. Duke's eyes were a little red. This is a long-lost sense of security, a feeling of civilization and order. When he walked into the temporary command post, when I saw me drinking tea with the leader in the command post, suddenly stunned. It's really you. I thought the team from last time. It's all your strength. I didn't expect you to have such a strong team. To the end. His eyes were full of shock. He couldn't imagine that he had just walked all the way. Those planes and cannons passing by. All kinds of high-tech weapons belong to the previous team. Such strength. Even when the Empire was at its peak, it was nothing more than this. I smiled and said hello to him. Then he introduced Wang Zhong to him. This is our Commander-in-Chief Wang Zhong. Duke looked at this dignified middle-aged man, suddenly a little nervous, stammered. Hello. Wang Zhong looked at the restless young man in front of him. Smile kindly. Don't be nervous. Sit, sit, sit. It just so happens that I also have something I want to know about. Duke Wenyang is even more nervous. Sir, I'm not tired. Just stand. Just kidding. In front of the leader of this powerful army. Does he dare to sit down? If it were a big shot with a barren empire, he is not even qualified to let others take a look. Wang Zhong didn't force it. Keep asking. How is the situation at your survivor base now? How many people? How is the living situation? Our survivor base. There are probably more than 3,000 people, but food has bottomed out. Many survivors. It has been changed to 1 meal every 2 days. But as far as I know, other survivor bases, we've already started to get to know each other. Wang Zhong thought for a while after listening. I just need some help. Materials are not a problem. Issue security guaranteed. 8-hour working day. 2 mornings off. 1 day's work can probably be replaced by 1 week's worth of work. Duke was stunned for a few seconds after hearing this. Can't believe asking again. I'm afraid it's an illusion. Really? Wang Zhong smiled. Don't worry. Of course it's true. I even prepared some lifestyle entertainment products for you. After saying this, Wang Zhong stood up. Several people came to a pit. Lights on. Piles of daily necessities. There are also TVs, air conditioners, game consoles, etc. Duke was stunned. Then he slapped himself hard in the mouth. Make sure you are not dreaming. Are these for us too? That's right. It's all for you. Duke's classical Chinese said that the big tears couldn't stop falling down. A long time. He raised his head suddenly. A long-lost light flashed in the eyes. I want to go back and tell the chief. Inside the survivor base on the other side. Duke and the others haven't come back yet? Ji Wen sat at his desk, asked anxiously to another subordinate. Report to leader. No news from Duke. Wenyang and Ji Wen's face darkened involuntarily. In the last days. No news. It represents death. This is the cruelty of the end of the world. Leader, not good. My eldest baby is about to die. Go and have a look quickly. A middle-aged woman in her 40s broke in, face full of panic. Everyone soon came to a simple isolation room. Just entered. I smelled a damp, hot, and decaying smell. A teenage girl is lying on the straw mat on the ground. Her calves were wrapped in thick strips, but brown blood has oozed out. Smell carefully. You can also smell a rotten smell. Just a glance. Ji Wen knew. This little girl is hopeless, already deeply infected. In this apocalyptic world where medicine is scarce, this is the death penalty. Then Ji Wen faced the mother, silently shook his head. Just leave it to fate. That mother's classical Chinese. No yelling. Just step forward. Touching my daughter's cheek. Tears can't stop flowing down. Ji Wen didn't feel well either. Take out today's rations from your arms and put them on the ground. Left silently. Return to the highest point of the entire base, staring aimlessly at the base that is about to collapse. No medicine, no food, no water. There are scary zombies outside. I can't hold on anymore. Just when he was considering whether to disband, rapid footsteps came from behind. Looking back, it turned out to be the missing Duke. Just wanted to say something. I saw Duke say excitedly, "Chief, we are saved. It's really saved." What can be saved? Didn't I say before that there was a group of people? Gave me free water and food. Now their main force is here. There are tens of thousands of people in Wuyang and Wuyang. We were shooting zombies outside before. That's their team. Their heavy firepower is also exaggerated. Rows of tanks and armored vehicles. At least thousands of vehicles. There are also helicopters, rocket cars, etc. And they have plenty of supplies. Want to exchange materials for labor. 8-hour working day, 2 mornings off. True or false? He can't be a liar, right? Deceive people and then eat them all. Civilized people who fought hard to stay alive. Doesn't look like human beings in the end of the world. And their strength lies there. If you really come, you should. There is nothing we can do. Ji Wen fell into silence. Duke is right. If the other party really has such strength, do you believe it or not? It's not necessary. So Lu Qing thought about it. Make a decision immediately. Notify everyone of emergency union. All search parties. Return to base immediately. We move. Following Ji Wen's order, in a shabby tent, in the tin house, man in straw house, walked out one after another. When they hear, 8-hour working day, 2 mornings off. There is no such treatment. It's good to get off work at 10 o'clock every night. Listen to the doubts below. Ji Wen was not angry. I know what I said is like a dream. It's impossible in your eyes, but it's true. Duke saw it with his own eyes. They are a real army, not a remnant of the empire. They have order, have soul power. There is food, more valuable medicines. Willing to believe me? Just follow me. After speaking, Ji Wen picked up the weapon and walked outside. Duke keeps up, followed by the 3rd, 4th, 5th, the 10th and the 100th, 1000th. Almost everyone in the survivor base followed. 2 hours later, the survivors came to the base built by Blue Star in another world. When they saw rows of tanks and armored vehicles, and a well-disciplined army, everyone was stunned, especially seeing those patients in the team, after being injected with medicine on the spot by medical soldiers to clean the wound. Everyone's eyes turned red, realized for the first time. It turns out that civilization really still exists in this tomb. Then the rest of the people, taken to the resettlement area by the soldiers in charge. They saw neat rows of. When you go in, you can see all the facilities inside. There is a water heater. There is a TV. There is also air conditioning. There's even a game console. Me, am I not dreaming? Give me a slap quickly. Let me see if in dreaming. The same goes for Ji Wen. See these facilities that can only appear in dreams. Give yourself a hard slap. After confirming that it was not a dream, my eyes suddenly turned red. It turns out it's really true. The next period of time, survivors go to work every day to help. Saved a lot of labor resources for the army. Ji Wen and Duke were also invited to the military. Became a local temporary consultant. System integration began with other local survivor bases. Some survivor bases, although the conditions are difficult, we still stick to the bottom line. Humanity is still there. The military directly accepts these people. Bring into resettlement area. There are also some survivor bases. Human nature has long been distorted. 1 son and 2 sons are considered good. Many people have jokingly called some old, weak, sick and disabled people two-legged sheep. Some children under the age of 10 are even called the best two-legged sheep. Said the meat is tender, good taste, especially fragrant. Wang Zhong ordered this kind of survivor base to be direct destruction. After Songzhi received this order, he immediately led 2,000 soldiers, more than 200 vehicles, conduct protective strikes against some survivor bases. Wait until things are almost settled. I'm sitting in the command room, looking at the new 72-hour countdown that appears in front of me. Subconsciously his eyes widened. Then pick up the walkie-talkie. Get me through to Commander Wang Zhong. Toot toot. Hello, Commander-in-Chief. A new countdown has appeared here. I have a hunch. This time it's a whole new world. The voice fell Opposite Wang Zhon's breathing suddenly became rapid. What? New world. This time, because of new materials, the domestic scientific research community. Major breakthroughs have been made one after another. Tangi lithography machine already has finished product. Nuclear fusion enters a new course. The entire country has entered a period of rapid development. The reason for all this stems from a young man. Now the young man is in danger again. The country will never stand idly by, and maybe it's a new opportunity. So he immediately asked me to return to Lopner. Let me wait with peace of mind. Soon after I returned to Lopner, Black Dragon Team, War Dragon Squad, the Brontosaurus team gathers again. Songja is here too. He looked at me and patted my shoulder heavily. Okay, I thought there was no chance for us to cooperate. Didn't expect it to be so soon. We have to fight side by side again. If possible, I would rather not. I want to lie down comfortably at home. Time passes quickly. 72 hours fleeting. Songja looked at the team members under his hands. Everyone, check your gear now. More than 20 soldiers immediately checked their equipment. Follow-up is normal. Plenty of ammunition. Armor normal. Confirmation completed. I exhaled a breath, looking at the countdown that is about to reach 0 in front of me. Time has come. Ready to go. The familiar blue light curtain unfolds again. War Dragon Squad, explore the path first. Received. 7 warriors stepped into the light curtain first. Then the voice of the Thunder Dragon team came over the radio. Gravity is normal. The air is normal. Safe. Set off. Songja gave an order. The scientific research team and the other 2 teams, stepping into the blue light curtain one after another. I also follow him. After the light curtain disappears into the air, Wang Zhon looked anxiously at the place where everyone disappeared. You must come back safely. Me on the other side. The sight regained light and shadow from darkness. What comes into view is a mountainous wilderness. Looking into the distance, you can see some broken bell towers. Songja asked, how long is the countdown? I glanced at the countdown in front of me. 5 hours. It's almost like you just traveled through the zombie world. That time. It doesn't seem like it's been long. That's right, but my voice just fell. There was a dull gunshot in the distance. Then there were several more bang 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 gunshots. Everyone looked in the direction of the gunfire and immediately became alert. Songja immediately raised his tactical gesture. Deep command. 1000 yuan open infrared scan. Maintain formation. Push forward. After everyone arrived at a plane, I was immediately shocked by the scene in front of me. Only saw, on the plane, a team of soldiers is protecting a group of villagers. Fight a swarm of giant bugs. Those bugs are covered in fake cocks, with long fangs. Xiao Kongjin's bullets are completely ineffective on them. I calmed down. This time we are probably at the time of an insect infestation. Songja quickly observed the number of insect swarms. More than 30 heads. But the source cannot be determined. I didn't know it was an interstellar insect plague, or a planetary insect plague. The interstellar insect plague means these bugs can travel across planets. Interstellar devouring civilization. I'm afraid this planet is hopeless. We can still contend with planet-level insect plagues. I said in a deep voice, look at their equipment. Still using traditional weapons, we are about 50 years behind us. At this moment, soldiers fighting against bugs, seems to have discovered us. Send us a request for help. Hey, can you help us? We can't hold it any longer. My expression suddenly shook. Huaxiayu. They are talking about Huaxiayu. Everyone was also stunned. Songja gave an order, regardless of whether they are from our country or not. It's important to save people first. Black Dragon Squad formation. Fire coverage. Understand. The Black Dragon team immediately deployed heavy firepower on the ground. Aim at the insect area and bomb it wildly. High explosive bombs fell among the insect swarms. The giant bug was instantly torn apart in front of the powerful bomb. Just a wave of firepower. The originally aggressive Zerg tribe was wiped out. Those soldiers came to us quickly after being rescued, then asked sonorously and forcefully, I am Liu Qian, commander of the 38th Company of the Thunder Group Army. Thank you for your help. Excuse me, which army group are you from? Songja looked at his face stained with blood, and firm eyes, subconsciously responded with a military salute. During a brief exchange, both sides can feel it, the essence and spirit of the other party's same origin. But as Liu Qian glanced at our team's equipment, see that sophisticated high-powered assault rifle, and the latest generation of exoskeleton armor on the body. His brows couldn't help but frown. Our equipment obviously stood out a little too much. Songja was also thinking in his mind. He can now roughly judge. There is indeed a hero here, but the disaster version of the hero. How do you tell the other person your identity? Is it possible to just say that we are from another world? Do you think it's mental illness? At this time, I walked out of the team. Stretch out your hand towards Liu Qian. Hello? Our heroes from another world. When I speak calmly, say that. Our heroes from another world. The whole place was so quiet that you could hear the wind. Yu Weifeng froze on the spot. Expressions on faces ranged from wrong to shock, and then to being completely stunned. You said a hero from another world? The soldiers behind him looked at each other in agreement. Everyone gasped. Some people don't believe it. Some people's eyes flashed with excitement. Yu Weifeng stared at me intently. The voice is a little hoarse. Are you sure this isn't a joke? I didn't avoid. Nodded solemnly. Their equipment. You have to say that this equipment and this firepower are not from our world. It really makes sense. He immediately took out the military terminal. Connect to Superior. Report to the battalion commander. A troop claiming to be from another world building appeared here. The equipment is completely different from ours. Extremely powerful firepower. Request further instructions. Less than a minute. The battalion commander is also fierce. What do you mean from another world? 10 minutes later, the information was reported to the brigade commander and commander of the group army, until the highest conference room in the center of the building that rejoins the world. Inside the capital command center, brightly lit, an old man with white hair and a general's uniform suddenly stood up. You said they claim to be heroes from another world. It is Xie Harue, the supreme commander of the insect-stricken World Hero Center. At this moment, his expression was solemn. The staff officer next to him quickly reported the situation. Report to the head. Since the unknown meteorite fell into the Pacific Ocean half a year ago, insect tide breaks out under the sea. Insect plague sweeps the ocean. At present, many places along the southeastern coast have been lost. Western countries are on the verge of collapse. We are also defending across the board. If the information is true, they may have technology we can't understand, Xie Harue said in a deep voice. Video connection immediately. A few minutes later, Yu Weifeng handed the terminal to me. On the screen, a wrinkled face, the old man with piercing eyes, appear on screen. I am the commander-in-chief of Daxiao Songshu, Xie Harue. His voice is rich, revealing the pressure honed in the flames of war. You say, are you from Daxia, another world? My eyes are steady, slightly sweaty hands. Yes. My name is Silence. We are indeed from another world, one similar to you, but there was no severe disaster in Daxia. The whole conference room fell into dead silence. Xie Harue stared at the screen. Long silence. The staff can quickly call up the identification results. Whisper a report. Chief. The face and fingerprints of the person opposite. This person is not found in our database. The equipment style is completely different from that of our army. There are significant differences in technological roots, and there is no possibility of counterfeiting. Based on the comprehensive judgment, it is very likely that what they said is true. Xie Harue often sits down, deep eyes, no identity record, but speaks our language. The equipment is different from ours, but equally efficient and advanced. It seems, they are really warriors from another building. I looked at the wrinkled picture on the communication screen, but a very determined face. Speak calmly and sincerely. I noticed that you are currently experiencing a pest crisis. We can come here. It's actually a coincidence, but time is limited. 2 more hours. We're going back. Expected within a week. We will come back again. Xie Harue nodded slightly. There is a hint of regret in his expression. Time is so tight. Then I'm afraid you won't be able to reach the Central Command headquarters in time. Just then, stand up without makeup. The tone is crisp and clear. Then let's conduct a scientific and technological information exchange first. We will share the current scientific research directions and technological achievements. Next time you come back, you can directly carry out joint public relations. This sentence made Xie Harue's eyes light up. Nod immediately. Okay, this is a very good idea. He turned around and ordered the staff beside him. Immediately compile a copy of our core scientific research project information, including energy weapon defense system and mecha technology. Not long after, Chief Scientific Research Expert Dr. Wang Yuan appears on another layer of the screen. He looked like he'd been up several nights in a row. His eyes are still bright and bright. This is a summary of some of the research in our current building. Wang Yuan pointed the terminal in his hand toward the camera. After the severe disaster broke out, We will use all our scientific research capabilities to integrate it under the Dawn project. The main direction of attack is high-energy particle weapons, defense barrier mecha technology, and reverse analysis of recombinant genes. Urgent sorting of information. Not comprehensive enough, but at least I can let you understand. Our current level. No hesitation even without makeup. Bring the information you have prepared here. Sync the past. That's a document about the exploration technology system. Super telekinetic core psychic detective. Technology overview of Xianhui energy applications. And synthetic starch hypersonic missiles. 0.55 million tons large-scale electromagnetic ejection. And powered aircraft carriers and other technologies. As the data exchange between the two sides is completed, scientific research terminals of both parties. They all talked about the system confirmation prompt that moment. Insect-infested world and blue star building. Two technologies completed the connection for the first time. I looked at the time reminder on my watch. About an hour later. We're going back. Xia Haorui's voice, slightly heavy in communication. Comrade Chen Mo, I represent the building of the insect-infested world. Thank you for coming. You bring hope. I smiled slightly. We have the same origin. Should help. Wait for me to come back. Let's talk about the next step of cooperation, right? Is there a relatively safe place nearby? Yu Weifeng immediately replied, yes. 30 kilometers from here. There is a forward base of our Loai's brigade where the terrain is stable. Perfect defense. Great as a temporary return point. There are also cars nearby. Let's go by car. Under the escort of Yu Weifeng, I, Zhengshe, without makeup, am waiting for a group of people and the villagers that Yu Weifeng protected before. Let's take a ride together on the return route. Mountain peaks stir up dust. The sky in the distance is still filled with smoke from the war. When they arrived at the base, the final countdown on the retina has also returned to 0. A blue light door slowly opened in the open space. I looked back at Yu Weifeng, whispered, "See you next time." The voice fell. He and everyone stepped into the light gate. Blue light flashing room. The figure disappears into the air. Only Yu Weifeng was left standing there for a long time, looking at the empty sky, murmur lowly. I hope you can really come back. Focus on the central research center of the world building. Dark night. The entire scientific research building is brightly lit. The screen flashes. Like a sleepless steel furnace, Dr. Wang Yuan stands in front of the main console. His fingers trembled slightly as he flipped through the information that had just been sent from another world. Xianhui is the mother mine of two Smurfs, strange minerals that don't exist in their world. Flashing blue light on the data panel, he murmured. This cannot be explained by physical science. This is a miracle. It is a miracle that transcends the limits of civilization. He continued to look through the information. And synthetic electricity. Now heavy foot is raging. This latter technology is also crucial. There are also 0.55 million ton destroyers and nuclear-powered electromagnetic catapult aircraft carriers. It's a pity. Today's ocean has become a restricted area. Immediately, it turned around suddenly. The voice trembled with excitement. Comrades, it seems that the mecha technology system we dream of, finally able to build it. Which room is missing? The whole experimental hall was boiling. The researchers who looked tired after having stayed up for 3 days and nights, got up one after another, eyes red. Is it really possible? As long as the energy density data of xenopyrite is okay, our reactors are designed to function autonomously. The mecha plan is about to be resurrected. Project Raise is about to be restarted. The air is filled with excitement and tears. In a world plagued by insects, they have fantasized again and again. If only we could have a real mecha army. Maybe we can open a living gap for humans in the sea of worms. At the same time, Daxiao Suyen of Blue Star is sitting at the holographic table in the research center. Focused eyes, fingertips operate quickly. The scientific research data sent back from another world were unfolded by him bit by bit. When I saw the document called the Loai's Mecha Experimental System, his pupils suddenly contracted. They have actually developed a complete mecha theory system. He quickly scanned hundreds of pages of documents. The beating sound of the heart almost drowned out the plague of computers. Armor material mechanics, hydraulic press, fiber nerve synchronization interface are all available. Suyen couldn't help but stand up. Shortness of breath. The only bottleneck is that energy density is too low. The mecha can only last 5 minutes of combat. Next second, he slapped the table hard. Laugh out loud. That happens to be our strength. His eyes rekindled the long-lost enthusiasm. If the core of a miniature cataclysmic reactor is formed using xenopyrite and double blue crystals, Quantum energy conductivity properties of zero-carbon mother minerals for reservice. Their mechas are no longer toys for 5 minutes. It's a steel giant that can try to fight. It records ideas on the holographic screen while South-South Road. They have structure. We have energy. They have a fighting system. We have materials. When the technological river between the two worlds, the real mecha era will be opened. On screen, the technology trees of the two civilizations are expanded side by side, gradually overlap and complete each other. A new annotation appears in the center. Cross-border joint project Lazy Xianhui Plan. Code-named Dual World United Mecha Plan. No makeup and slightly raised head. Eyes flashing with blue light. Their ability to reach this point is not only due to their wisdom, and the will that remains unyielding despite being close to death. He opened the information. See the attachment of the scientific research report on the pest-infested world building. Star titanium alloy is a kind of strength black steel stone, a super metal that is tough enough to survive extreme cold. Without makeup, she softly read Star titanium alloy, with sincere admiration on his face. No wonder they can support the mecha system. The disasters in this world have also tempered their miracles. At the same time, the countdown on my side has also been restarted. The retinal cursor flashes an icy blue light to count down the 5 years. He took a deep breath. It's already clear in my heart. This time they have to face more than just exploration, but rescue. In the battle conference room of Daxia Center, the atmosphere is unprecedentedly solemn. Under the joint decision of Yu Guodong, Yi Xingyao, Wan Yuxiong, and others, the order is officially issued. On my next time travel, we want to urgently transport strategic supplies to our country again, focusing on the double Smurf exploration mother mine of black pyroxene. Prioritize support for energy and defense construction. The freight line at the Lobugua base operates day and night. Military cargo trucks shuttle through the night. The carriage is loaded with mineral crystals from the zombie world. That is the light of human civilization, the engineers whispered while loading the truck. These things, I heard it can support the reactor, can also build mechas. The level of confidentiality required is the highest. Ask too many questions and be careful when writing a review. Hey, if you really build a mecha, then it's worth it. At the same time, major research institutes and key universities in Daxia. We have also received a batch of information packages from state secret projects. The title of the file clearly reads, Lazy Mecha Engineering System Joint Experiment Code. However, no document mentions its origin. Lunka University High Energy Machinery Research Institute. Shen Mingjie, a leading academician in the field of robotics, sitting at the lab table, looking through the hundreds of pages of information. At first he just browsed casually, but when I saw that page about the design story of the hydraulic-based fiber linkage structure neural synchronization feedback control system, the whole person was stunned. He murmured to himself, pushing up my reading glasses. My fingers are trembling a little. This theory is so powerful that it completely subverts our existing electromechanical control ideas. He frowned even more when he saw the core armor material Star Titanium alloy on the last page. Star Titanium alloy, we have never heard of this material here. Isn't it a theoretical hypothetical substance? He continued to flip through and found that the entire information was extremely rigorous and impeccable. Even if the core material is unknown, the overall system is still scientific and self-consistent. He thought for a moment and suddenly realized, the flaws in the power system are the only shortcoming of this system. However, it is completely feasible to use xenopyrite double blue crystal and Lingtan mother ore to make up for the energy density. It's so seamless. Then he showed a playful smile. Is it possible that someone dug up alien technology on the far side of the moon? As soon as he finished speaking, he immediately summoned the team to enter the state. The Loi's Mecha project will be fully invested in research from now on. The first version of the power supplement plan must be handed over within 3 days. Scenes similar to Shenmingjie's are taking place across the country. Scientific research institutes, engineering laboratories, military factories, groups of top talents, involved in the improvement project of Loi's Mecha, breakthroughs day and night, and all research results feedback and breakthroughs. They will all be collected and sent to Su Yan's hands as soon as possible. Standing without makeup in front of the glass corridor of the Scientific Research Center, looking at the flashing lights outside the window, the corners of the mouth slightly raised. Technology from two worlds is converging. He whispered softly, the real dawn of steel for Project Razor has begun. The critical time for time travel has finally arrived. wearing a dark trench coat with a famous name, wearing a special badge. Security Bureau personnel pushed the door open and entered. The leader's expression was solemn and his tone, but extremely respectful. Dr. Shen, you here today? Research in the field of control and interpersonal integration. No one in the country can match him. The country now has a extremely important task. We need you to lead the team. But I want to explain in advance. The mission is dangerous and the level of confidentiality is extremely high. Once accepted, you may have to wait a long time. Disappear to the outside world. Shen Mingjie was slightly startled. He goes from young to old, always eager to participate. The kind of project that changes the times. Now he knew this was that chance. He didn't hesitate. I do. The moment I signed the confidentiality agreement, he was actually a little excited. The sound of falling seemed to announce some kind of turning point in fate. Then he was taken into a closed conference room. The head of the special investigation team of the Security Bureau handed him a top-secret document. The first line of text after Shen Mingjie opened it completely stunned him. Project Source, World Daxiao Target Razor Joint Mecha Project. One World. He couldn't help repeating it. His voice was trembling. The file contains detailed information about the insect-infested world, the time travel plan and the progress of technological integration between the two parties. As the pages passed by, Shen Mingjie's shock gradually turned into fanaticism. So that's it. This lazy mecha system didn't appear out of thin air. It's the result of another building being put together in a desperate situation. The person in charge of the Security Bureau nodded. It is precisely now that they are in a pest crisis over there. The center decided to send out a technology team. You will be one of the responsible persons. Travel with Xiao Chen to the insect disaster. Plane, and hold on to the honor of a lifetime. He straightened his back and felt firm eyes. That afternoon, a military helicopter landed on the roof of his institute. The suspenseful wind blew his white hair away. He looked back at the experimental building that had been with him for decades, whispered, "Old guys, this time I'm going to a longer place to dream." Soon he went to the military airport and then boarded a military plane. Target Lopner Base. The early stage of night view of Lopner Base. The starry sky is vast and the wind is blowing the sand grains. There is a cold, dry breath blowing from the test area in the distance. I walked in the yard with slow steps and heavy thoughts. The countdown to time travel has entered the final stage. But he didn't feel relaxed at all. Suddenly a familiar voice sounded behind me. "You seem to have something on your mind." When he turns around, it's Qin Xingyu. He still wears the white research coat and has long hair, floated gently by Yi Feng. I smiled bitterly. Yes, the previous world was a lost world, although the crisis is everywhere. But I can still handle that kind of despair. But this time it's different. I looked up at the night sky with stars in my eyes. There is a hero like us over there. Same language, same bloodline, same flag. Watch them being devoured by a plague of insects. I feel very uncomfortable in my heart. I paused and my voice lowered. Su Yang is right. If the Zerg are really interstellar intelligent creatures, then no matter how hard we try, maybe it's just a drop in the bucket. Maybe this time we are facing something that is simply insurmountable. The wind blew through the silence and picked up the sand and dust around my feet. There is a suppressed tiredness in my tone. Qin Xingyu looked at him quietly for a moment and then said softly, "It's not in vain." I looked up into his eyes. Qin Xingyu's eyes are as bright as the most determined star in the night sky. Man can conquer nature is not a slogan. Even if the final outcome is failure, the process of hard work itself is meaningful. He smiled softly. Besides, since they have the same origin as us, he must have inherited our spirit. Continuously strive for self-improvement and never bow down. This is blood-soaked stuff. I was stunned for a few seconds and finally a long-lost smile appeared on my lips. You are right. No matter how dark the road ahead is, we should be that lamp too. At least let them see, there is a hero from another world. Side by side with them again. Qin Xingyu nodded slightly. Hold his hair. His smile was warm at that moment. The time for time travel is getting closer and closer. Inside the Lopno underground isolation cabin, everything has entered the final countdown. The lights on the bulkhead glowed cold white. There is a breath of tension that makes your blood boil. I glanced at the countdown on my retina. That string of numbers is reflected in the blue light. Like a beating heart. Everyone is in place. Zhengzhi gave the order in a sonorous and powerful voice. Fighting Tiger Squad, Flame Squad, Thunder Squad, the strongest special operations teams in the 3 buildings. The assembly is completed at this moment. Each team member's armor surface flashes a tactical identification light. The powered exoskeleton makes a low humming sound. Dozens of Type 100 main battle tanks are neatly arranged in the warehouse entrance channel, with their muzzles facing forward. Always be ready to fire after crossing. The sound of the tracks rubbing against the ground is low and thick, like war drums roaring underground. Over there at the scientific research team, dozens of scientific researchers headed by Su Yan and Shen Mingjie have also completed their deployment. Their mission is to work with the building researchers in the disaster-stricken world to provide support for subsequent mecha research and development. I glanced at the calm person without makeup and took a deep breath. This time we bring not only hope but also a future. Shen Mingjie pushed up his glasses slightly and looked attentive as the Lazy Mecha project was about to be launched. I looked around at everyone. Slowly speaking, everyone. This time we are not just explorers but also the messengers of the building. Let the technologies of the 2 worlds work side by side so that the fire of mankind will not be extinguished by any disaster. At the same time, insect disasters. A temporary military base in elf competition is in the midst of a bitter battle. The insect nest surges from the horizon like a black tsunami, the meaning of densely packed sky. The armor on Yu Weifeng's body as he stood in front of the defense line had already been stained black with insect blood. Fire coverage area number 1 and number 2 fired continuously. Don't let those air bugs get close. Battalion Commander Chong's offensive is too fierce. Comrades can no longer hold back. One soldier is covered in scars, rushing forward with a hoarse voice. Yu Weifeng gritted his teeth and roared, "Even if you can't stand it, you have to stand it." At base, the shouts came and went, intertwined with the roaring clouds of artillery fire. A group of flesh and blood bodies built the last barrier before the wave of the insect sea. The sky was illuminated by the fire. An insect blood and broken armor intertwined into a hellish scene, and in the Lopno underground isolation cabin at the other end, the last second of the countdown beats. Portal opens. Wind. A whirlpool of blue-white energy suddenly lights up the night sky like a male falling to the ground. That dazzling light illuminated the entire Lopner base. A strong energy storm was set off on the ground. The Chenlang soldiers subconsciously raised their arms to cover themselves. The face can't suppress the shock and expectation. Countdown begins. The broadcast voice answered in the command hall. The transmission is stable and can be entered. Thunder team sets off. Songja roared and led a team of 16 people to drive 100 style cars to the station, followed by Tomahawk Squad and Flame Squad. The chariot roared into the light gate, followed closely by me in the tank, Shinyunjia without makeup, and the core members of the scientific research team. Behind them, trucks loaded with supplies drove quickly. Race against time. There are still 30 seconds to go. The tail light of the last transport truck disappeared into the light curtain. The energy of the portal becomes unstable. Ripples ripple like water. End countdown 198. The light began to shrink, and a vibrating bass filled the air. Immediately, buzz, the portal suddenly closed. Only the empty sound of the wind and the hot energy remnants of the ground are left. The base fell into brief silence. Everyone held their breath and looked at the extinguished void. Wan Yuseong, commander of the Western Theater Command, stood in a bunker in the distance. Body. Wind and deafening artillery fire flooded Shizi almost at the same time. The atmosphere was filled with metal and scorch, and the ground was shaken by the explosion. Countless zergs roared in the firelight and the sky fell to the ground. The sound of unlimited power chanting came quickly. Pay attention to safety. This area is under attack by Zerg. We are helping to support the defense line. Then a hoarse but sonorous voice inserted into the channel. You are finally here. It's Yu Weifeng, the commander of the Baihong battalion. I looked up and saw the front line. Yu Weifeng wears a bulletproof shawl stained black by blood mud. The blood bag is still being reloaded. Someone is holding a machine gun with one hand. The other hand is empty except for the bandage. I feel very angry. He understands the reason why these people cling to this military base. Not for victory but for Give them a safe landing space. All personnel are ready to support firepower covering the front line. He shouted loudly at every turn. Dozens of Type 100 tanks adjust their muzzles at the same time. Our air system quickly locks the target muzzle. Measure as a star. Next second. Boom. Dozens of 120mm armor-piercing grenades were released at the same time, sliding through the sky like a meteor shower and falling into the center of the insect nest. A huge shock wave set off the sky. Those mountainous swarms of insects turned 4 years old in the flames. The stumps and prosthetics fluttered in the wind. The main gun loading is completed and the game continues. The sound of artillery continued. Machine gun fire, snake sweeps. Bullet casings scattered like fish. Just 10 minutes. The battle line is stabilized again. The insect nest collapsed in the sea of fire. Countless Zerg corpses piled up into mountains. Yu Weifeng gasped for air and looked at the rows of heavy tanks. My eyes are full of shock and gratitude. I am so loyal and support you. After the fighting subsided, Yu Weifeng came to meet him in person. Looking at the supplies piled on the transport trucks, he took a deep breath. Zhengshu has ordered, Yu Weifeng said solemnly. After you arrive, follow me to military base number 001 immediately. That is our building's core defense line against the insect nest. It's also the commander who loses you. Understand, Zhengshu immediately responded. The convoy restarted its tracks and rolled over the scorched ground. Yu Feng smells of blood but also mixed with the breath of hope. On the way I looked at the ruins illuminated by artillery fire that day. Calm but firm tone. Commander Yu, we can stay for 5 days. We will go back in 5 days to prepare more resources. Come back to support you again. Yu Weifeng nodded and showed a tired but sincere smile. It's great to have you here. Then the convoy drove to number 001 military base in a mighty manner. Along the way, the air was filled with thick smoke for the occasional explosion of light and shadow in the distant sky. At the same time, inside the central command tower of military base number 001, the red warning light keeps flashing. Xia Haruei in general uniform, standing in front of the huge Chuanchi sand table with a solemn expression. Sufficient offensive power on the sand table spreads from the southeast, approaching like a tide. At this time, the correspondent ran quickly. Report confirms successful docking. They have entered this plane, approaching our base. Xia Haruei nodded and his eyes brightened slightly. Up to 5 days based on returned communications. Then it must be within 5 days. Connect all technologies that enable communication and cooperation. Wang Yuan, the chief scientific research expert next to him, stood up immediately. Organize a team to analyze the data they bring. A few minutes later, when the completion file for Lei Zi's mecha system appeared on the screen, the entire scientific research room was quiet for a few seconds. Then there was a burst of almost ecstatic cheers. This is the great change and stability equation of the exploration machine's energy core and the double blue crystal and black pyroxene. Wang Yuan's hands are shaking. He almost shouted to his assistants. Great. This is the missing link. There have been enough attacks these days to completely disrupt industrial supply lines. Shortage of key materials, lack of energy, and interruption of experiments. Their research has almost come to a standstill. At this moment, the information from the different world Daxia. It's like a life-saving rain coming from the sky. Call all mecha research teams together immediately. Introduce new material theory into Loai's mecha reactor model. The fatigue on Wang Yuan's face disappeared and was replaced by the long-lost passion. He clenched his fists and his eyes were shining. As long as this verification is successful, we can make the Razor mecha truly stand up. The morning sun shines brightly outside the window of the control tower. The wind blew the flag, and the familiar red flames fluttered in the sun. Xia Haruei looked at that Chi Yu with determination. Whether it's this world or their world, Daxia never bowed to fate. Soon after, I passed through layers of defense lines and finally arrived. Military base number 001. This base is located at the junction of desert and steel. Anti-aircraft guns, automatic guns and automatic machine guns. Patrol drones plunder from time to time in the sky, and in front of the main entrance of the base. Xia Haruei wearing a combat command cloak, and Dr. Wang Yuan, who is grey-haired but extremely energetic, already waiting personally. As soon as I got out of the car, I saw those precious golden eyes. There is both fatigue and burning hope. Su Yang and Shen Mingjie took the lead and made some progress. Next time, Dr. Wan, we will bring you the supplies and samples you urgently need. Please see. Su Yang raised her hand and pointed to the transport truck behind her. The carriage opened slowly and neatly stacked black gray stone and blue and gold female spirits looked around. The blue, white and silver mineral gold reflects a dreamlike brilliance under the light, as if the heart of human civilization is beating. Wang Yuan paused and then quickly stepped forward, touching the black gray stone with trembling hands. This energy reaction is amazing. It's incredible that there are such creatures in the world. He turned around and held Su Yang and Shen Mingjia's hands. My eyes are full of excitement and gratitude. What you bring is hope, he said almost impatiently. Take me to the experimental area. We immediately started testing the energy response. Time is running out, can't waste a minute or a second. Without makeup, Shen Mingjie went to the scientific research area with the scientific research team, launched the first joint research spanning 2 worlds. On the other side, Zheng She and I were led by Xia Harue, entering the lounge after entering the command area. Soldiers hurriedly ran along the way. The red warning area is constantly beating on the large screen in the command center. The reorganized attack direction covers almost the entire coastal defense line. The war situation is tense. Xia Harue lowered his voice as he walked. Poor conditions. Please pay attention. I smile and shake my head. Commander, you're welcome. We are all people who do practical things and don't care about ostentation. The two of them looked at each other with a hint of hardness in their expressions. Xia Harue nodded slightly and his tone became Cheng. It is a convincing force. You may have brought more than just supplies. More importantly, let us believe. We still have hope in this war with the Zerg. I quietly watched him speak slowly. No matter which world, our building never gives into despair. On the other side, the lights in the main experimental cabin of Base 001 are bright and heavy. 3 people gathered in front of the holographic projection table in the center. A 15-meter-tall laser mecha slowly rotates in the stereoscopic projection. Pulses of blue energy flicker in its chest like an artificial heart. Su Yan pointed at the energy storage structure of the mecha's chest and was short of breath and full of passion. Your lazy mecha architecture is very advanced, but the energy supply is unstable. Insect plague environment. This kind of short battery life can hold up the battle line at all. If we introduce a double blue crystal condensation guide layer, combined with the energy gathering reaction of xenopyrite, energy efficiency can be improved at least 4 times. Shen Mingjie quickly called up the modeling results on the virtual terminal. The energy curve in the model jumped instantly after a few lines of code flashed. It seems that this design can stabilize the output. There will be no flameout problem caused by energy fluctuations. Dr. Wang Yuan watched the 2 men operate. The whole person seems to be 20 years younger. He slammed the table. Wonderful, wonderful. It turns out that the quantum condensation effect of double blue crystals can replace our original energy gathering pipeline. We used star titanium alloy to withstand pressure. The result is serious energy loss. Now this idea complements perfectly, Su Yang said while operating. Your star titanium alloy is a miracle metal strength, high extension signal. I want to attach a layer of zero-carbon mother mineral nanofilm to its surface. This can improve the conductivity. It can also achieve self-healing and compounding during combat. Wan's employees were breathing quickly and their eyes were bright. If it can be achieved, then this is not just a trick. It is a kind of war weapon with life characteristics. Shen Mingjie smiled and pushed up his glasses. We have been pursuing this goal. The 3 of them looked at each other and smiled. Then they simultaneously stretched out their hands and clicked confirmation button for energy system fusion test. The next second, the lights in the entire laboratory dimmed. The central reactor model lights up with a blinding blue light. Circles of energy fluctuation spread out along the model shell. Energy output on the monitoring screen rises steadily. Wang Yuan clenched his fists and his voice trembled as he succeeded. Energy system synthesis. Smiling without makeup. From today, Lazy Mecha truly has a heart. With the successful completion of model verification, the entire industrial area of military base number 001 was completely boiling. The warning lights in the factory lighted up one after another, and the robotic arm began to operate. Fiery golden light bursts out from the furnace, and the air is filled with the smell of high-temperature metal. Construction of the Loai's mecha prototype officially started. The 15-meter-high steel giant finally stopped and projected toward the birth of reality. The core energy system of the Loai's mecha over the past few months. It has always been the biggest bottleneck. Energy cannot be stabilized. Reactors are inefficient. The prototype was forced to sit on the production line for a long time. And now, as the 2 Smurfs explore the mother mine, the arrival of 3 miracle materials, Su Yan and Wang Yuan teamed up to overcome the final barrier. Energy rushes towards the core and starts stably. This means that the Razor Mecha can finally really move. During the experiment, Su Yan and Wang Yuan walked side by side on the roaring passage of the field. The sound of clashing steel echoed from all sides. In the distance, the semi-finished skeleton of the mecha slowly rises from the hanging ground. Su Yan looked at the huge figure with sincere respect in her voice. Your Star Taihe crystal is an incredible material. Amazing hardness, resistant to energy shock, also takes into account flexibility. To be honest, we can't make this kind of metal over there. Can we take some samples with us when we go back? Wang Yuan was stunned and then laughed. Of course, no problem. Although the Star Taihe Sutra is extremely rare here, but compared to the energy technology you assisted, this is nothing. No makeup and a soft tone. Don't worry, we won't take more. You still have to fight against the insect infestation here. We only need a small sample for prediction. After the pest disaster subsides, then our building will formally sign a long-term cooperation agreement. Hear these 4 words. The insect plague has subsided. Wang Yuan was silent. The distant horizon outside the factory is lit red by artillery fire. Every flash of light represents another battle and another batch of sacrifices. After a moment, he slowly stretched out his hand, holding tightly together with Su Yan. Good. Then wait for the day when we can overcome the serious disaster. Without makeup, she smiled and solemnly returned to her home. Definitely will. Just as the assembly of the Loai's mecha entered the final stage, boom boom, the deafening explosion came from dozens of kilometers outside the base. The alarm instantly sounded throughout base 001 and all the warning lights turned red. Reorganized offensive targets again. The strategic defense area in the southeast direction. Anxious reports came from the communication channel. Huge number of heavy groups. Suspected emergence of new heavy armor species. Request reinforcements. Request reinforcements. In the command hall, Xie Harue suddenly stood up with a heavy expression on his face. Defensive difficulty. Chief of Staff Chen Sheng responded. It's the 3rd line of defense that is being suppressed. Expected to fall in 10 minutes. At the same time, another urgent communication came from the scientific research area. Wang Yuan's voice was full of excitement and nervousness. Report to the commander that the prototype of the Loai's mecha will be activated in 10 minutes. The energy core stability rate has reached the standard. We can go to the battlefield. Verify actual performance. Xie Harue hesitated for a few seconds and then gave the decisive order. Good to tell the front line that reinforcements will arrive in 20 minutes. Let them hold their ground. Hold on to these 20 minutes at all costs. He turned to look at the combat commander. The reserve team immediately set out to provide full fire cover. No matter what, we can't let that line of defense fall. Fighters take action immediately. Tanks and armored vehicles roared and blasted through. The earth is shaking and the dust is rising. Faint light reflected from the base shield. At this time, the scientific research area WANGU and Suyan Mingming Festival almost spinning. The blue light pulses at the energy core are becoming more and more stable. The last layer of zero-carbon master mold for the mecha shell is undergoing NEMI-based fusion. 98% completion. Energy cabin temperature control is stable. The body's neural synchronization system is switched on. Finally, a crisp prompt sounded. Loai's mecha prototype system is ready. Wang Yuan breathed a long sigh of relief and almost collapsed on the chair. He raised his head and looked at the 15-meter-tall steel giant in front of him. Finally able to move. Su Yan didn't waste any time and ordered directly. Notify the headquarters that the mecha is ready to go out at any time. Xie Harui's calm voice came from the headquarters. Understand the origin of the prototype of the Razor mecha. Yu Weifeng personally drives the target's southeastern defense line. Mission code, Shouguang attack. This is the first actual mecha combat. It was also the first front-on attack on the Zerg. For a time, the entire base was immersed in a kind of passion for resistance. Countless soldiers stopped and looked at the tall hangar in the distance. There, Lei Zi's mecha quietly helped the blue energy flow to reflect in the chest. It's as if real hope has finally opened its eyes. After receiving the order, Yu Weifeng immediately rushed to the firing area. When the heavy alloy hatch slowly opens, an oppressive roar came towards me. Only saw. Inside is a 15-meter-tall Loai's mecha, standing in the center of the dimly lit hangar. Veins of blue-white energy light remain along the gaps in the armor. Yu Weifeng's breathing quickened unconsciously. Even after many battles, I was so shocked that I couldn't speak at this moment. This is the Razor mecha. Wang Yuan stepped forward and said, unconcealable pride and excitement. The whole machine adopts Xingchen Taihe gold main frame. The outer layer has negative defense, flexibility, and firmness. The core energy source is a new fusion reactor. Under high-intensity combat conditions, it can also keep running for a whole week. He paused and continued to introduce. The arms system is a dual system. The main weapons are high-energy laser cannons and kinetic railguns. For melee combat, it is equipped with a star-like giant axe that can crush heavy armor with one strike. In addition, the mecha has short-sighted suspension and high maneuverability jump capabilities. However, it does not yet have long-range flight capabilities and is a ground attack type. Yu Weifeng listened carefully and looked firm. Understand system data. I have synced. Then he'll set off. Wang Yuan nodded. Good luck, Razor Knight. As the cockpit closes, the Razor mecha and the cover beam light up. Dazzling blue light illuminates the entire hangar. Energy system starts. Neural synchronization rate 98%. All armed modules unlocked. Lazy Mecha goes into battle across the tailwind. Accompanied by heavy footsteps, Lazy Mecha takes the first step. Every step shakes like an earthquake and raises dust all over the sky. In the control center, Shenmingjie, and Wang Yuan were staring at the screen. The data stream jumps wildly on the projection. Energy output curve and body load rate stability coefficient are monitored one by one. Shengdao without makeup. Start with actual data. Record the entire observation. Synchronous feedback. Shenmingjie smiled softly. Our children finally go to war. Wang Yuan clenched his fist and his eyes were bright. After this battle, the Razor Mecha is no longer just an experimental subject. It will become mankind's first sharp weapon against insect disasters. Southeastern Defense Line. The sky is burning with dark red clouds. Cannon fire tears the night sky apart. The atmosphere is filled with stuck metal bits and gunpowder smoke. The battlefield is littered with burning wreckage and silken insect horns. Reinforcements from Base 001. We arrived 5 minutes ago and the situation is still grim. Swarms of insects surged fiercely from valleys and cracks in the ground one after another. Those heavily armored men covered in metal shells. They are approaching the defense line step by step under intensive artillery fire. If you can stop it with full firepower, use grenades to suppress it. Reported that only 30% of the ammunition is left. Damn that thing. I carried a 155mm round and it's still moving. Every roar is like giving their spirits a line in the sky. The company commander's face was covered with dust and his voice was hoarse, but he still roared. Just one sentence. No one is allowed to take another step back from the position. He turned around, raised his rifle, and fired repeatedly at the black insect nest in front of him. Everyone should pay attention to hitting the heavy beetle's joints first, as this is their weak point. A violent explosion set off the battlefield. The trenches in the front row were overrun by swarms of insects, and a cack was overturned in midair by giant insects. The defense line is about to be breached. The company commander suddenly pressed the communication button on his shoulder. Report to base that we can still hold on. As he finished speaking, the blade of a heavy beetle suddenly pierced the bunker. The whole town is shaking. The company commander gritted his teeth and used his last strength to stuff an anti-tank grenade into the insect's mouth. Go back to hell. Gently. The violent explosion caused the surrounding soldiers to disappear instantly. But in the flames of the explosion they still saw. A new swarm of insects has emerged again. The soldiers were back to back, their faces covered with blood, and they were fighting hard. The elixir is almost gone. It doesn't matter. There's also a bayonet. At that moment, the sky above the southeastern housing area. There is only one shocking sentence left. 1-inch mountain and 1-inch blood people are in position. In the scene where the housing area was about to be completely engulfed by the insect nest, suddenly there was a low roar in the sky. That's the sound of air being forcibly compressed and torn apart. Everyone instinctively raised their necks to see a dazzling blue-white light falling from the sky, accompanied by war, falling into the clouds and rain. 15-meter-tall steel giant shadow. The powder fell in the center of the battlefield. Lai's mecha prototype. It's a mecha. Our mecha is here. The soldiers could hardly believe their eyes. The surface of the huge machine flashes with pulses of energy. The reactor in the chest glows like a star. The ground suddenly sank halfway the moment he landed. The swirling dust waves directly blew away the swarm of insects in the front row. In the cockpit, Yu Weifeng holds the control stick tightly. The voice is deep and powerful. Don't worry. Reinforcements have arrived. The words just fell. The lazy mecha raised its right arm and the mechanical supercharger exploded instantly, targeting heavy armor. Boom. The Great Star Axe carries terrifying energy tiger light, cut directly from midair. Medium armor type coat with thick and weak armor steel plate, cut in half by clothes. The giant rat swept the air with its backhand and was split into cloud blast waves. The vegetarian Zerg were instantly chopped into pieces. Then the shoulder turret unlocks. Double-barreled high-energy laser cannon activated. Target insect swarm areas. Energy convergence emission. A dazzling white smooth surface broke through the barrier. The insect swarm was instantly melted by the high temperature, leaving behind a large area of charred ground and steam. Yu Weifeng's eyes flashed. Small step-propelled air-concentrated mecha. Fei Hao fights at the end of the month. Come on, continue to die. The lazy mecha turned into a blue and white storm. The giant axe swings in the air like a huge meat grinder. Roaring explosive metal crash sound mix. The flying mirror of Hongqiao was twisted violently. The soldiers on the battlefield were stunned. That's our Daxia mecha. Oh my god, this is the true shield of humanity. Nice job, Razor Mecha. With the addition of Razor Mecha, the southeastern defense line is finally stable. Hongqiao was forcibly suppressed. Hope rekindled in the field. At the same time, the command center of Base 001. On screen, the real-time screen of Lazy's mecha keeps flashing. High-energy weapon beams tear apart heavy groups. The flames of the explosion reflected on everyone's face. Without makeup, Shen Mingjie, Wang Yuan and 3 people, all stared with bated breath. A moment later, Shen Mingjie couldn't help but smile. This fighting power is too strong. As long as the energy supply is sufficient, the Razor Mecha is the ultimate barrier for humans against the Zerg. As long as it can be mass-produced, the civilization on our side will be stable. Wang Yuan did not smile. He took off his glasses, sighing heavily. If it were a peaceful time, Daxia has a complete industrial system. The mass production of lazy mecha is of course not a problem. But now, he looked at the global history map on the wall. The large red area above represents Zhongzhu's sphere of influence, has almost swallowed up the world. After the severe disaster broke out, global supply chains have collapsed. Mainland authority lost. Lingering on life. China is completely extinct. The whole earth. Only we in Daxia are still struggling to support us, but even so, therefore, combat power is also weakening day by day, resources are scarce, and transportation interrupt. The infrastructure has been destroyed and we can hardly maintain even the most basic manufacturing lines, let alone large-scale mecha production. When he said this, his voice lowered. More importantly, Razor Mecha requires high-strength neural synchronization adapters. They must be strong-willed, mentally stable, and react extremely quickly. But now, with war everywhere, we have no way to systematically filter. Su Yan and Shen Mingjie looked at each other, then nodded. Su Yan said in a deep voice, if it is a supply chain problem, wait for the portal to be maintained for a long time. We can directly help you manufacture it. Core components, energy components, armor mod. We can supply it all. Shen Mingjie went on to say, as for neurosynchronizers, we can also help with screening. Choose those with strong will. People who are not afraid of sacrifice. Send your world. Become a real mecha knight. Wang Yuan raised his head suddenly. A glimmer of light flashed in the eyes. Are you willing to help us? Smiling without makeup, patted him on the shoulder, surrounding the servants, regardless of the world. Shen Mingjie also nodded and said, we don't just want to help you survive. Want to be together. Completely end the pest plague. Wang Yuan was almost choked with excitement. Then please, finally, without makeup, Shen Mingjie and Wang Yuan invested in a new round of technical public relations overnight. The laboratory light stayed on all night. They surround the Razor Mecha. Weaknesses exposed on the battlefield. Joint energy consumption, neural delay, heat recovery, bamboo discussion, repeated deduction, each parameter adjustment. It's all a debate. Finalization of every plan. It's like gambling on life. Without makeup while typing on the terminal. While talking. Response speed of main control service must raise another 15%. Otherwise, you will suffer a loss when you enter the station. Shen Mingjie frowned and retorted, energy consumption is too high, too late to dissipate heat. Wang Yuan suddenly interrupted. How about we try double-layer neurofeedback? Exploring the frame with spirit. Energy conducting layer shunt. Fast and stable. The 3 of them almost slapped the table. Performed all night, until early morning. New Razor Mech model has gradually taken shape in holographic projection. Faster, more stable, stronger. At the same time, Wang Yuan handed over a thick blueprint. This is the manufacturing drawing of the equipment we use to screen neural synchronizers. After you go back, can be built by child. Select talents who are fully compatible with the mecha neural interface. No makeup and nodding solemnly. Accept the drawing. Rest assured, we will start screening work as soon as possible. On the other side, In the base command hall, I'm standing next to the combat sandbox. Follow the supreme commander of the Great Xia Center in the insect-infested world. General Xia Haruei, busy all around. Siren sound. The sound of communication comes and goes. It stands to reason he shouldn't be in a meeting of this level, but Xia Haruei insisted that he stay. He is the source of hope. Xia Haruei once said, "The person who owns the portal, you should hear our war song." Sky Group Army. The southeastern defense line must be stabilized. Earth Line Army. Blockade of the Northwest Valley. The main force of the insect nest is gathering there. On a huge electronic map, red light spots spread like a tide. Every confirmation, it all means that another line of defense has been hit. I stand aside, watching in silence. There is an indescribable heaviness in my heart. When the meeting ends, he took a step forward. General Xia, if nothing can be done, you can go through the portal. Bring some people to us. It's safe over there. We can accommodate them. Xia Haruei was slightly shocked, then laughed. There was no hesitation in that smile. Only peace and pride. Your kindness, I understand, but responsibility to protect the land. It is our duty to. If you give up your territory for the sake of a dog's life, then we. Are you still considered a Daxia person? He paused, deep voice, but shocking. The emperor guards the country. King Deadshot. If one day, we really can't stop it. Please, in your museum, for the heroes of our world, leave an everlasting glory. I am the Lord. That moment, what he saw was not a general, not a commander, but the last few cars in the whole series. The 5-day time limit flies by. These days, the wind at the end of the moon almost didn't stop the rain. He drives a razor machine, transform into the sharpest peak on the battlefield. No matter how dense the clusters are, as long as the mecha is defective, it's like breaking the waves. One person, one axe, one journey at a time. Every attack, all accompanied by thunderous bursts of energy. Every return, the mecha's armor is full of scorch marks and residual blood, but still standing tall like a mountain. Lazy attacks, reorganization and withdrawal from the court. This sentence, it has become a slogan on the battlefield, and on the other side of the base. Without makeup, Shenming Jie and Wang Yuan worked around the clock. The combat data they sent back through Yu Weifeng recalculated the mecha's energy output curve, armor stressed structure and neural synchronization against delays. A thick portion, optimization plan for the entire series of Loai's mechas, finally finalized. Once this solution is put into mass production, Shenming Jie wiped his face covered with dark circles, say with a smile, reorganization, 10 times more. Not enough to watch, no makeup but a long sigh. If possible, I really want to stay. Let's continue to improve together with you. Wang Yuan patted his shoulder. You have helped us so much. Go back. Bring these results back. Help us keep hope alive. Transfer time is approaching. Thunder Away team led by Zhengzhe. Regrouping completed, but the equipment they brought. But they are neatly arranged on the base square. Dozens of Type 100 main battle tanks, and hundreds of boxes of supplies and ammunition. In watching all this, smile lightly. Just leave these here. You need it more than we do. Xia Haruei was stunned for a moment. Then he solemnly saluted a military camp. Thank you. No matter which world you are in the future, Elephant here. I will always owe you a debt of gratitude. On the base square, the wind is strong. Sunlight through smoke and dust, shining on mechas and tanks, reflects dazzling golden light. Me, without makeup, Shenming Jie, Zhengzhe and others stood in front of the portal. That moment, no rhetoric, only each other's determined eyes, and a common belief. Daxia, faceless. After I return to Lopner, the energy of the portal has not completely dissipated yet. Director of the Security Bureau Yu Guodong, already waiting for the exit in person. Thank you for your hard work. How is the situation over there? Take off protective clothing without makeup. His expression is still covered with lingering tension. Overall it went smoothly. In collaboration with our scientific research team, collected using Lost World, Xianhui 10 pairs of blue gold and Lingtan Mother Mine. Combine them. The imperfect Razor Mecha plan. We successfully completed prototype construction and field testing. He said this, eyes shining. Excellent performance in actual combat. Mecha defense and firepower. Can suppress reorganization. During the battle on the southeastern defense line, one blow turned the tide of the battle. Yu Guodong was excited when he heard this. I couldn't help but pat the tabletop. Good. This is a result that can truly change the situation. Su Yun's tone immediately dropped. Yu Guodong immediately put away his smile. Sharp eyes. say, Su Yan sighed. The supply chain over there was almost paralyzed by the restructuring. Mecha production capacity is limited. Even though we provide technical optimization solutions, they are also difficult to mass produce in a short period of time, he added. In addition, Razor Mecha requires special neural synchronizers, and they are in a state of war. Almost impossible to carry out systematic screening and training. Yu Guodong stood up, pacing back and forth with hands behind back. Think for a moment. It's a tough question indeed. No one. No production line. Even if there is technology, can't push it either. Nodding without makeup. So I discussed a new direction of cooperation with them. We rely on a complete industrial system here, responsible for manufacturing mecha components, and nationwide. Screening candidates who match mental and neurological strength, as long as they are willing. We can organize cross-border rescue, send out real mecha pilots, go to that insect-infested world to fight. The meeting was silent. A few seconds later, Yu Guodong took a deep breath. Nod hard. Very good. This is the character of our building. The world is in trouble. We can't just sit back and watch. Must assist. Smiling without makeup. Next. It all depends on the situation on Silence's side. All eyes turned to me. I slowly raised my head. Firm eyes. I feel it too. Another 7 days. I can open a stable teleportation space. By then, the portal can be maintained for a long time. We can establish a fixed channel. Yu Guodong's classical Chinese. There was uncontrollable joy on his face. He patted my shoulder, with heartfelt admiration in his voice. Good. Silence. Your trip. Open the door to hope. Subsequently, results report submitted. An unprecedented secret meeting was held in Beijing. Very few people attended. Director of the Security Bureau Yu Guodong, He Xingyao, Commander of the Eastern Theater Command, Wan Yuxiong, Commander of the Western Theater Command, and several core members of the building's Central Strategic Committee, when 3 people jointly signed. Special Application Report for Loai's Mecha Manufacturing System. When submitted, the conference room was so quiet that you could hear the sound of scraping paper. 5 minutes later, central approval. The top-secret code-named Project Raise was immediately launched. The goal is to establish a complete mecha manufacturing chain and energy system. Execution Department, National Key Scientific Research Institutes and Military Industrial Enterprise Consortium. Project Director Su Yang Shenming Festival. This is a project that can change the world's industrial structure, but to keep it a secret. The external name of the plan is the 6th Generation Manned Multipurpose Aerospace Aircraft Research and Development Project. A few days later, scientific research institutes across the country have successively received encrypted information issued by the central government. It was a batch of highly disassembled design drawings and manufacturing parameters. No one knows what these drawings actually sound like, but every labeled data, it all makes the engineer's scalps tingle. This torque intensity. Our current alloys can't do that. The energy response curve is too exaggerated, right? Isn't this the same level as a submarine? Who is working on this project? This is something humans can do. Everyone is amazed, but no one dared to ask, because it clearly says on the document, confidentiality level top secret. No details of the project should be disclosed to outsiders. When they further see the 4 key materials involved, black-gray stone double smurf carbon mother ore, star titanium alloy, the entire scientific research community was shocked. These 4 materials. When will our country be able to produce these high-energy materials? Xenopyrite, double blue gold. Never heard of it, but the parameters all exceed the international theoretical limits. Even top research institutes feel unfamiliar, but everyone knows one thing. Daxia is quietly entering a new technological era. A few days later, the whole country begins to enter the lazy mode. Thousands of research institutes, tens of thousands of factories, millions of researchers, start work simultaneously under confidentiality. Factories everywhere roar day and night. Production tasks are issued like a flood. Comprehensive linkage of 5 major systems of aviation, metallurgy, electronic energy materials. At the same time, Daxia's Ministry of Commerce also quietly acted. On the grounds of the 6th Generation Aircraft Project, large-scale acquisition of rare metals and key chemical raw materials on a global scale. The price of rare earths in Nirvana has soared in the international market month after month. Foreign media have speculated, is Daxia secretly developing the next generation of strategic weapons? What on earth are they building? A plane or a behemoth? And Daxia's Scientific Research Command Center. Just leave a calm command. Increase power. Expand production capacity. The Razor plan is advancing at full speed. At the same time, Neural synchronize a screening plan for Razor Mecha. Dacia also quickly launched nationwide actions. Suyen and the drawings of the detection device they brought back, listed as the highest priority scientific research public relations project by the center. Within a short period of time, the first batch of testing equipment was mass-produced in military industrial institutes. The appearance of these devices is not much different from ordinary physical examination instruments, but the core algorithm inside, it can accurately read a person's brain nerve reflex strength, mental resonance frequency and subconscious energy fitness. These indicators are the key to whether you can drive the Razor Mecha. First round of trials. Choose to conduct it secretly within the entire military system. Millions of active duty soldiers line up to get tested. The Special Operations Brigades and Air and Space Forces of all military regions launched simultaneously. When the test results are summarized in front of Suyen, he was completely silent. Millions of people. Only dozens of people were screened out. That list was redlined. It clearly says, high adaptability and 12 people in Class B, 31 people in Class C, 48 people in Class C. Judgment Festival suddenly disappeared. Too little. This ratio is less than 1/10,000th. Hishin, commander of the Eastern Theater Command, wants to read the report. Sighed. Mecha piloting. Sure enough, it's not something ordinary people can afford. Say it. He looked at Yu Guodong. Otherwise, we expand screening. Nationwide. Promote comprehensive testing. Yu Guodong was a moment late. Comprehensive testing. Too much momentum. Will arouse suspicion from outsiders. Hishin wants to smile slightly. Then change your name. In the name of the National Free Physical Examination Program. Yu Guodong immediately understood what he meant, nodding. Good. Just proceed with this plan. All detection data at the same time. Direct connection to hub encryption server. Disclosure strictly prohibited. Soon, an unprecedented national physical examination campaign unfold quietly in the building. Whiteface from the metropolis. Ordinary residents in remote mountain villages. Everyone received the same notification. The country will launch a free health testing program. Comprehensively upgrade the national health database. Various physical examination items. But one test in particular stands out. Nerve reflex and brain wave resonance test. No one knows what this test really means. And in the dark, Suyen stares at the real-time data stream on the big monitor screen. Look at the dense brainwave curves flashing. Murmur lowly. 1.4 billion people. You should be able to find a badge. A soul that resonates with mechas. That moment, every hospital in Dacia, military camp, institute, they are all working towards the same hidden goal. Looking for those who can resonate with the lazy mecha. Just in Dacia, under the name of the 6th generation manned multipurpose aerospace aircraft research and development plan. In fact, while comprehensively promoting the Loi's mecha manufacturing system across the ocean, the venue was boiling instantly. Immediately afterwards, the building government further announced, comprehensively promote new energy strategy, from energy to people's livelihood, upgrade all, household level, electric stove, electric range, electric heating system completely replaces gas stove, natural gas stoves and other fossil energy equipment, transportation level, a new generation of nuclear electric trains, bus, synchronized conception of electric ship plan, industrial level, achieving a zero-carbon emission electric energy production chain, consumption level, new energy vehicles, smart home, power tools are widely popularized, the whole country, as if overnight, entering the era of truly unlimited energy. The internet also exploded. Electricity bills have become 1/100th of what they are now. Doesn't this mean you don't need money, brothers? Who will still use gas in the future? Just use nuclear fusion electricity directly. My dad just replaced the gas stove. I got so angry when I saw the news. Laughing to death. This wave of hawkish sanctions on oil. The result helped Dacia usher in a new era of energy. This is supposed to be an economic war where the energy resources are stuck. But Dacia used nuclear fusion technology to backhand him. It first became the opening ceremony of the news era. Night. The sky in Lopner is exceptionally bright. I'm walking in the courtyard of the base. The floor lamp under my feet lights up softly. The breeze carries the smell of sand, but a little more peaceful. Qin Xingyu is by his side. The moonlight reflects on his hair, soft and moist. I looked up at the stars in the sky. Say with a smile, start with the chip. Let everyone in Dacia use it. Better and cheaper CPUs and GPUs. To this day, how to use fusion to make electricity affordable to everyone across the country. I feel I'm really leading everyone. Live a better life. Qin Xingyu tilted his head. Hold your chin, looking at him with bright eyes. In the night, his smile is like a gentle lamp. It was Atta who said softly, thanks to you. Silence. I smiled and shook my head. I just opened the door. What really makes this happen? There are countless people who work hard. And Qi Ming from the Great Change Research Institute. Bai Yufan from the Institute of Computing Technology. And those unknown researchers. Worker? Engineer. He looked up at the sky lit by stars. The tone becomes firm and gentle. All this is the light that belongs to everyone in the building. The outside world is still immersed in the fish nest lit by Shiha. The rhythm of Lopner was suddenly kicked away by another incident. I need to kiss that door completely, connecting with the insects outside to form a living conveyor chain. Send all the aid, manpower, and materials there. The first batch of key parts of the Loai's mecha have been piled on the transport truck in order. Black pyroxene, double blue gold, zero carbon mother ore, those weird minerals brought back from another world, filled with several huge underground warehouses, like a silent mine waiting for its fate. Everything is equal to the same moment. The portal is stable. As soon as the door opens, or walk, people leave. Round-trip city chain. Military orders are like mountains. In order to ensure the opponent's combat power and logistical negligence, the elite 81st Shenwei Group army deployed by the central government to defend Longju was ordered to join the ranks. Tianxian Kang Yao. 3 synthetic brigades are vowed to be ready to go. Guns supply armored engineers. Complete set in place. Overnight hunting outfit. Pull the net into a team. The commander of the Central Theater Command led the expedition. Ji Shinza. He stood in front of the assembly area. Cold gaze. It's like seeing through the entire Lopner. Beside, Wan Yuxiong, commander of the Western Theater Command, standing side by side with He Xingyao, commander of the Eastern Theater Command. The moment the three shook hands, both silent. It's also a handover. Ji Yixing responded with a smile. I took an entire army group to the opposite side of the military area to rescue, this time at home. Don't let me come back and find that my home has been stolen. Wan Yuxiong patted his shoulder, full of confidence. Rest assured, we have plenty of ways to protect our home. Just guard that side. He Xingyao smiled, a threatening look in the eyes. If an eagle dares to play tricks at our door, let's show off some ruthless moves first. If you really dare to take action. The three of them looked at each other and smiled. There is relaxation in laughter, but it's more about the pressing determination. The voice fell, shrouded by the crowd. All the laughter. Everyone knows this is not an act. This is related to the survival of thousands of people. Wan Yuxiong smiled. But I can't hold back the heaviness. To say danger, or is it more dangerous on your side? After all, we are facing the heavy-footed world. In the dispatch hall of the headquarters, lights flicker. Huge war zone battle board. Thick lines intertwined like a network. Which troop escorts the ore? Which brigade is responsible for mecha assembly? Which engineering corps opened a temporary palace and cheered for martial arts training? Which defensive company is stationed at the front line? Stabilize the rear. Every line is a lifeline. Every mark. Behind it are the names of thousands of people. Materials are numbered. Pack, encryption, transport convoys arranged neatly. Even the passes for ordinary workers are graded. All night long, error in any link may affect the entire cross-border operation. I stand on one side, eyes on the transport truck, in the portal shining with blue light, scanning back and forth between the figures of the three generals. He knows, every decision here, they will all be magnified into reality by their own door. Qin Xingyu walked to his side, whispered, "Don't worry. Everyone is ready." I nodded. The tone is calm but steady. We send everything we can. Guard everything you can. 2 worlds. Everyone does their duty. The wind stirs up the sand in Lopner, whizzing by. The military flag roared fiercely. The reflection of armor reflects the sky. That's not acting. It's not a show. This is mobilization. It's handover. It's an oath. The door is about to open. The road must be opened. The light should be on. Fire point. Wan Yuxiong finally looked at Ji Shinza. The voice is low but powerful. What goes out is the backbone of our building. What is left behind is the home we must protect. When the time comes, I take a deep breath. Raise your hand. A moment. The entire underground space of Lopner is lit up by blue and white light. Dazzling energy vortices formed in the air. The portal is fully opened. That door is like a curtain wall of light. Steady support amidst raw and low-frequency resonance. Space is distorted. The air smells of metal and electricity. Su Yang and I took the lead and stepped in, the light and shadow flowing under the feet. Their figures instantly disappeared into the depths of blue light. Focus on the world. Building 001 military base. At this moment, Supreme Commander Xia Haruei is already present. I heard the report from the front line that the space door is opening. He almost walked out of the command center quickly, when the familiar blue-white light flashes across the clearing. When two figures walked out of the light curtain, he finally showed his long-lost smile. You are here, but soon. He frowned in confusion. Just you two, I smiled, eyes shining. Of course it's not just us, this time it's permanently connected. He lowered his voice, there was a hint of pride in his tone. We have a surprise for you. The words have not yet fallen. Lopno on the other side. The bugle is loud. Iron current roars. The roar of Ji Shinza, commander of the Central Theater Command, echoed in the command channel. The Shenwei Group army will go out with me. Yes. A deafening chorus of echoes, rolling like thunder across the fields of Lopna. The Tianxian Synthetic Brigade takes the lead. Rows of 100 Type main battle tanks, Type 4 artillery, howitzers and long-range rocket launchers. Engine roar, track roll, dusty and sandy, rushing towards the portal like a torrent of steel. Roar. Light blast. The voice of command interweaves into a cross-border epic. The first tanks pass through the teleport, followed closely by Kang Yao Brigade. It's a tourist, the entire army. Like a tidal wave, a group of nobles poured into the room. A view of the central command area of the building in the insect hairpin world. The vibration almost made the ground tremble. Xia Haruei watched with his own eyes. Those steel chariots painted with divine emblems. Used from the light curtain. Blue light reflects off every armor, like a steel behemoth stepping into the new battlefield. His throat is tight. The voice is dumb, almost trembling. Thank you so much. This moment, he understands. This is not just aid. This is a hero from another world. Put your own main force at the bottom of the position. All entrusted to me, even if the hero opposite is on the wall. Such a group army. There can't be too many. Can we send a team to help? It's already not easy. When the last armored vehicle of the Shenwei group step into the blue-white light, the other end of the portal, the roaring sound is still vibrating. Immediately afterwards, the second wave of transport fleet, car lights lined up in a long line, light up the night sky of the entire disaster-stricken world. Military trucks loaded with containers drove out of the portal. The interior of the carriage is neatly stacked with metal frames and energy fusion. That's the core component of the Loai's mecha. Robotic arm lifting, locking and unblocking. The air is filled with the smell of cold metal and juicy smiles. Wang Yuan stepped forward to welcome him. There is a light in the eyes that cannot be concealed. I take off my gloves, said with a smile. Time is too tight. Our production line there. He only had time to sense enough parts to assemble the martial arts mecha. Wang Yuan was stunned in Wen Yang, blurted out immediately. Such a short time. You can complete the Wu family. He was shocked. His eyes couldn't help but fall on the boxes with the logo of the Xuanhui type reaction chamber at the core of the Lingtan mother mine. He knows. Each piece represents a miracle that spans the world. Just a few days, the batch manufacturing of complete machine parts can be completed on the opposite side. That means the heroes over there not only stabilizes cross-border transportation, it already has miraculous industrial production capabilities. He pursed his lips, sighed with emotion. You're building over there. It's so powerful that it's awesome. If our supply chain here, not torn apart by insect plagues, maybe we can walk side by side. I smiled and shook my head. We are side by side. Just separated by a door. Just when Xia Haruei thought the transportation mission was over, when preparing to order the closure of the defense zone channel, suddenly, another rumbling roar. Coming from the other side of the portal, the blue and white light curtain flashes violently. Immediately afterwards, one military transport truck after another continues to drive out. The carriage is covered with heavy shockproof canvas. It says in eye-catching red paint on the side, Special Ordnance Support. Crane arm lifts the canvas, exposing neatly arranged missile boxes, artillery ammunition, gun bay, anti-armor rocket launcher. There are even modular components for new energy bombs and electromagnetic pulse cannons. Xia Haruei was stunned for a moment, shocked and almost speechless. These are all. I explained with a smile. The tone is calm but there is a sense of pride. This is the ordnance aid material from our building over there. Weapons, ammunition, energy supply, mecha parts. Emergency medical equipment is also in the convoy behind. Can be given. All given away. That moment, insects in the world-building officers and soldiers stood up one after another, looking at the rows of armored transport vehicles approaching across the border. My eyes are wet. At the same time, at the other end of the Blue Star building, countless arsenals are already roaring today. Steel flow, sparks flying. The rhythm of the conveyor belt forms a mechanical symphony. In a weapons production workshop, two workers are hostile while working. Strange. In the past, our factory maintained the lowest output. Why are all lines suddenly full recently? This rhythm. It's like there's going to be a war. You don't know. I heard that the superiors are preparing a big move. Either use a scaffolding. Either. He lowered his voice, smiled mysteriously. To fight aliens. Ha ha. Fight aliens. Don't be ridiculous. They all laughed. But I don't know this sentence. In fact, it is very close to the truth. Just, that war. Not in this world, and every bolt they tighten, every round loaded, will cross the gate of space, to support another world. The heroes who are being devoured by the Zerg. Just as Shia looked at the cars one after another, when endless supplies arrive at the base, he finally couldn't help but laugh. It's a kind of relief and touch after being suppressed for too long. Thank you. His voice trembled slightly. Thank you for your assistance. The hero will never forget. The words have not yet fallen. The base's alarm suddenly sounded. The shrill red light spins and flashes. The voice from the loudspeaker came out quickly. Warning. A large insect swarm was discovered in the southwest. Number exceeds 1 million. Approaching the defense line. Shia face instantly darkened. Too bad. Before he could give the order, a steady and powerful voice, ringing in the combat hall. Commander Shia, I saw that Ji Shinza had finished dressing up, wearing a combat cloak. Looks as cold as iron. Southwestern Defense Line. Our Daxia Shenwei Group Army is here to fight. Shia was stunned. Shake his head immediately. No, please, you are from another world. You came all the way to help us. I can't let you go to the most dangerous place. Ji Shinza stepped forward with a voice like thunder. Danger? So what? He raised his head and looked at the blood-red area on the command map, his eyes like torches. Even though we come from different time and space, we are both from Daxia. He shouted that sentence loudly, and the whole hall was shaken. We have the same ancestry, same blood and veins. Since we shoulder the name of Daxia, let's guard the dawn of the future together. The next second, the command center broadcast sounded, and all members of the Shenwei group attacked. Yes, the roar is like a flash flood. Tank engine roars. Heavy artillery vehicles set off in formation. The machine battalion quickly boarded the train. Ji Yixing stands on the first Type 100 tank. Wield command knife. The figure is particularly firm in the firelight and smoke. Go out to conquer the army with iron currents. Gallop away. The blue afterglow of the portal illuminates the night road throughout the defense zone. A Bactrian legion from another world. Embark on a journey to conquer the compatriots of the world. Shia looked at the torrent of steel going away. A lump in my throat. Just whispered something in a low voice. They are really our compatriots. I stand beside him. Deep eyes. My heart is filled with passion and respect. Southwest Front. War rages. Smoke and blood mixed together. The defense line is already crumbling. Unlimited current. The horse players' voices came over and over again. This is the third combat group of the Southwest Defense Line. Request support. Repeat. Request support. However, respond to there. Just the roar of the insect swarm. Captain. Ammo is almost out. Persist. Not finished yet. A young soldier suddenly took off his helmet. Grin. Showing a row of bloody teeth. Captain. Take good care of my mother for me, Beard. What did you do? But the boy had already grabbed the machine gun and the explosive pack. Breaking out of the bunker, he was shooting, while shouting slogans. The sound was drowned out by gunfire. A few seconds later, a deafening explosion came from the insect swarm. Shock waves set off dust waves. Blood, flesh and broken armor mixed together to form suspicious spots and scattered. Beard, the captain's roar was hoarse and broken in the trenches. He knows, that young man spent his life. It bought dozens of seconds of breathing space for the defense line. Headquarters. We can't hold it any longer. The western front position was breached to 3 levels. Please instruct. The captain covered his earphones and yelled. His voice was swallowed up by the shaking explosion. His face was covered in soot and blood. He knows that the whole country is fighting. Northwest, southeast, insect nest-like sea. Every inch of land is desperately resisting. Suddenly, a steady voice came from the earphones. Through the noise, but it has a reassuring power. I am Shia the Supreme Commander of Daxia Center. Yes, the reinforcements have already set off and will arrive at your war zone within 10 minutes. Hold on, if the situation gets out of hand, allow you to abandon the outer areas in an orderly manner and save the fire. The captain was shocked, staring at the churning insect nest in the distance, and punched his chest armor violently. Did you hear that? The High Command asked us to hold on. Everyone, please guard this defense for me. Line. A roar made the blood of all the soldiers boil. The soldiers gritted their teeth and reloaded their bullets, even if their arms were shaking, and even though their breath smelled like blood, they still raised their guns. Aim at the Black Sea of Insects. Southwestern Defense Line. Thick smoke billows. The remaining team, by a mouthful of blood. A vigorous effort. He pushed it down hard. They used almost depleted ammunition, grenade, cannonball. In just a few minutes, he actually drove back thousands of insect swarms, although the insect nest is only temporarily retreating. But for these warriors who have already experienced hardships, even just a few minutes of breathing, it's like rebirth. The captain leaned against the broken bunker, covered in blood, panting, looking at the rolling insect shadows in front of me. Can reinforcements still catch up? He murmured. There was a bit of helplessness in his tone. Just then, 20 kilometers away, in command vehicle, Ji Xingze wears a bulletproof cloak, standing at the forefront of armored vehicles, a command that sounds like thunder. The whole army obeyed the order and formed a battle formation. The target is 20 kilometers from the front of Zhonghai in the southwest theater. Rocket launcher. Group loading. 155 types of artillery array ready for mounted firing. 115 kinds of guns. Vehicle-mounted mortar. Truck cannons fired across the board. Thermobaric bomb. Thermite bomb. Bai Ling's incendiary bombs were all thrown at me. Full firepower. Yes, just a few seconds. Tianxian, Sangyao. All the heavy artillery muzzles of the 3rd Kaixiao Brigade were raised simultaneously. Zhuangtian, ignite, backseat. Thousands of artillery pieces roared almost simultaneously. Boom boom boom. Cave mountain shakes. Gobi all day, exploded into rolling seas of fire. The storm stirred up dust waves up to 100 meters high. Even the air was burned red. The soldiers on the front line are preparing for the next round of the insect swarm's impact. Suddenly, they heard a long-lost whooshing sound in the air. Next second, the entire horizon is engulfed in flames. The shock wave of the explosion hit us. The fierce flames made the warriors' eyes red. The Zerg were blown to pieces, dancing with stumps. The earth trembles in the roar. The captain looked directly at the burning sea of insects, laughed, smile. Tears can't stop falling. Ha ha, coming. Reinforcements are coming, he murmured. Trembling voice, I thought. This scene. Never see you again. Since the plague broke out, supply chain collapse, the kind of saturated firepower that shook the world, already become a memory. But now, the fire started again. The sound of the cannon once again drowned out the howling of the insects. That moment, they finally saw it again. The torrent of steel belonging to the building. Roar again. The smoke after the artillery fire has not yet cleared away. A new roar rolls in again. End of horizon. The insect nest is reflected again. Like a black ocean. That dense crawling sound. Roar. The buzz of vibrating wings. Make the air seem to be torn apart. Captain. Zhonghai came up again, that vacuum area that was reduced to scorched earth by artillery fire. At this moment, it is filled with countless starworms, like a wave crawling out of hell. 20 kilometers behind, the lights of the command center of the Shenwei group flickered. Ji Xingze stands on the tactical sandbox with one hand, eyes as sharp as an eagle. The screen display returned by the drone. The number of defenders on the front line was sparse, but it's urgent. The defense line may be swallowed up by Zhonghai at any time. He ordered coldly. Order Tianxian Zhengzhuang Brigade, dispatch the Acid Mud Synthetic Battalion, go immediately to support the front line. In addition, artillery support continues uninterrupted. I'd like to see it. It's their insects. We still have more guns, yes. After giving the order, the battlefield roars again. Countless fire snakes spit out. The sky was torn apart by blazing ballistics. The sea of insects was once again turned into coke and blood mist. The soldiers on the front line looked at the sea of fire. For the first time, there was a little pain of wine and oil in my heart. You beasts. There are sperm too. Captain Wan Yingtian raised his rifle. Covered in grey, he smiles, but he frowned tightly. Suddenly, Yiming warrior excitedly. Captain, our reinforcements are coming. What? Wan Yingtian raised his head. I saw dust flying in the distance. A train of iron is coming just in time. Those are dozens of Type 100 tanks, heavy armored vehicle, tactical infantry phalanx. The torrent of steel swept over, muzzle light flashes. A few minutes later, the two armies meet at the front. In the captain of the defense here. Wan Yingtian. Tianxian Synthetic Brigade. Xiao Yanze, palm full of sour mud. Heard this name. Wan Yingtian was stunned. Shenwei Group Army. I have never heard of this establishment. Xiao Yanze smiled slightly. Our elephant from another world. This moment, the sound of the wind has stopped. Wan Yingtian was stunned for a long time. Suddenly grinned. Smile, eyes wet. No matter which world's elephant he is, can you come and support us? Just brothers. He stretched out his hand full of blood, mud and scars. Xiao Yanze immediately stretched out his hand to hold it tightly. Strength is steady and firm. Wan Yingshan monkey head arched. This period of time, too many comrades died beside him. He thought, no one can save them in this war. And now, he finally saw another group of people also wearing Daxia military uniforms, coming from the firelight. That moment, he finally felt, someone is coming. Come and join them. Hold up the summer sky. After the acid mud synthesis battalion led by Xiao Yanze joined the battle, the originally precarious line of defense finally stabilized. The fire on the battlefield burned the sky and the earth into red. The roar of mechas and armored vehicles intertwined. The sound of the shell falling to the ground, like an iron-blooded war song. In the rear command car, Ji Yixin's footage from a drone, looking at the endless. The sea of insects is still churning. Frown. This Zerg is really haunting. He smiled coldly, then slapped the desktop. Send me the order for the artillery line. The overall thickness is 2 kilometers. Thermobaric bomb. Press all lines. The staff officer hesitated. Commander. This round comes down. Ammunition will probably. Ji Yixin's interrupted him. The tone is as cold as steel. Don't worry about ammunition. Supplies from the rear are passing through the portal. Full speed ahead. Tell the artillery today. Let's let Chonghai eat his fill. Yes. A few minutes later, the direction of Chonghai, a line of light. The sky was completely dyed red by the firelight. The moment the thermobaric bomb bursts, the air is ignited. The fuel cloud clears the explosion array. The shock wave set off swept across several kilometers. One small mushroom cloud after another. Magnetic ratio estimate on the horizon. The loud noise shook the world. The ground was overturned. Swarms of insects are swarmed by high temperature and rain pressure. Even the blood mist was swept into the hot air waves, turned into a blackened vacuum. Wan Gangtian on the front line wiped the dust from his face, eyes full of shock. I'm too brutal with this firepower, right, you cannonballs? Did you grow up eating nuclear reactors? Xiao Yanze on the side smiled, explained. This is a thermobaric bomb mixed with air through a fuel cloud, deflagration layer. High temperature and shock wave generated by secondary explosion. It will swallow up all the oxygen in the entire area. Simply put, you can survive. Not a bug. It's just weird. Wan Jiantian couldn't help but take a breath of air conditioning. At this time, Ji Yixing in the rear ordered again. Vehicle-mounted machine gun. All the medium fire team pressed forward to the remaining Zerg. Carry out carpet cleaning. Yes, suddenly, thousands of boat-mounted machine guns roared forward as they advanced. The metal bullet chain flashed coldly in the sun. Live wire supports an airtight net. Tear the remaining Zerg into pieces. The southwest defense line is finally stabilized. In the base operations hall, a series of red warning lights gradually turns green. The anxiety in the air. Tight. The building is surrounded by enemies. Pest outbreak in northwest China. He gritted his teeth and suppressed a quarter of the country's field troops. The southeast coast was lost. Another quarter of the main force was taken away to rush for reinforcements. The remaining scattered troops, also distributed in central and border areas, support those lines of defense that are on the verge of collapse. Today's battle line has been stretched thinner than anyone imagined. And just last time, the insect nest that broke through that time reached 15 kilometers outside the base. almost breaking into the final center of the building. If not for the impromptu arrival of the Loai's mecha prototype, hold on desperately. This command center, I'm afraid it has long been in ruins. It's a pity, that's just the only mecha. For Dacia, where there are lines of fire everywhere, it's nothing more than a drop in the bucket. Think of this. Shia Harue couldn't help but shake his head gently. He once again turned his attention to the map of the entire west in front of him. Not bad, he whispered. There's a tremor in the voice. Fortunately you arrived in time. He looked up, looked at me, bowed solemnly. Thank you. You really saved us. I stretched out my hand to hold him. Firm tone. Commander Xie. You and I have the same roots. They are all descendants of great Xie, Yang, and Huang. What really deserves thanks? Are they the soldiers who are still fighting on the front lines? They are the backbone of this land. Xie Harue was silent for a moment. Nod slowly. Yes, they are the real heroes. He looked at the electronic warfare table on the wall. The cold numbers keep beating. Every hop. It's all the passing of a life. That moment, the supreme commander responsible for the survival of the entire building. Dark eyes, but he was still wondering in a low voice. As long as there is one breath, we have to hold on. Xie Haru's gaze, falling on the parts of the 5 Loai's mechas. Those metal parts shimmered under the light, like silent hope. He stretched out his hand and gently stroked a deck of Xingchen Taizhuang. The voice is low but full of power. The mecha components you sent me, of great significance. Now it is very difficult for us to even build a complete mecha. Supply chains are torn apart by severe disasters. Energy. Materials are in short supply, but with these parts, we just need to assemble. 5 more lazy mechas will be able to see the light of day again. Dr. Wang Yuan on the side. No time to rest. Leading scientific researchers and engineering troops to operate overnight. Arrange the xenopyrite capacitor units into the experimental room in the second area. Be careful of vibration. The cross-straight energy conducting tubes must be preheated to 300 degrees before docking. Instructions come and go. The entire assembly area is brightly lit. Robotic arm waving in the air. Welding spark pumping. That moment, the air is filled with a long-lost breath of hope. I'm standing in front of the console, while looking at the drawings. Report on the side. We are also simultaneously screening adapters for the mecha neural link. The current data is not ideal. Among millions of troops, less than 100 people can reach the standard. If calculated according to this ratio, we expect that after the nationwide screening is completed, ability to select 10,000 qualified mecha backup operators. This is already the most optimistic result. He finished, looking at Xie Harue again. Calm tone. Before I come, our chief has ordered a building that fully supports the insect-infested world, whether it's a mecha operator, energy supply, or war supplies. How much can be mobilized? We will support as much as we can. Xie Harue classical Chinese. There was a moment in my heart. He stood up solemnly, bowed slightly to me. Thank you for your generous support. Our current mecha backup operator. There are about 300 more, but compared to the huge front, this kind of person can't make a living. What really bothers us? It's not the people but the mechas that are not enough. I nod. Respond immediately. We have already started to resolve this issue. Our Loai's mecha production line has just started. Production capacity is gradually increasing. Estimated 1 month later, monthly output can reach 100 units. 3 months later, monthly output will exceed 1,000 units. By then, we will give priority to shipping some of the finished mechas to you. Xie Harue classical Chinese. The long-lost light flashes in the eyes. Great. As long as the mecha is enough, we can stabilize the situation. When we don't have enough adapters here, I also hope that you can support a group of operators. I smiled. Firm tone. Rest assured, we are the same hero. How many do you need? We will give as much as we can. Other side, the scientific research area is brightly lit all night. Dr. Wang Yuan takes off protective gloves, palms covered with sweat and burn marks, but he didn't dare to stop even for a moment. Work harder, he shouted hoarsely. Every hour, one less person will be sacrificed on the front line. The roar of steel echoed in the workshop. Hand flowers like stars and 4 swords. Technicians are red-eyed, braving fatigue, racing against time in the heat and roar. The transport crane moves slowly. The huge star titanium alloy breastplate is installed on the body frame. Xianhui is the core firmly embedded in the energy cabin. The double blue-gold diversion tube emits a faint blue light. The energy veins of Linghan Mother Mine extend along the entire body of the mecha. It's like injecting a bloodline of life into him. At the same time, front line, Yu Weifeng drives the only Lai's mecha currently, still wandering a ocean in the sea of insects. The surface of the mecha is already full of scars. Energy shield frequently hits critical hits, but he still refused to retreat. Just hold on a little longer. As soon as the new mecha arrives, the line of defense can be stabilized. He almost gritted his teeth and said this sentence. The star battle axe cuts across the sky. Go down with an axe. Dozens of Zerg were chopped into ashes. Burning insect blood exploded on the armor. Die this steel giant into a star. Yu Weifeng's voice came through the communication channel. Low and firm. I can hold it. Lazy. We can fight again. Here at the base, good news finally came. Dr. Wang Yuan and many manufacturing experts, with the joint efforts of researchers, the stage New Lai's mecha is officially completed. Technicians who had stayed up all night were spread out on the ground, looking at the 5 giant iron bodies of Oli under the light, eyes filled with tears. This is our miracle. Subsequently, the rear area of the mecha emerged quietly. No one attacked. No one shouted to be the first one. All qualified adapters. All operation permissions are silently assigned. Give it to the top 5 most suitable people. Go ahead. Bring our anger. Call us back. Just a few sentences, but it's like a silent death. Early that morning, base number 001. The weapon Lazy mecha is fully equipped. Armor reflective. Energy as bright as stars. Lazy number 2 to number 6. Set off. Following the instructions, the martial arts giant eagle suddenly ejected into the air. The butt face raises waves of dust all over the sky. They tear the night sky apart. Towards the most critical line of defense. Rush to rush. Him standing on the high platform of the base, looking at those razor mechas, dragging the bright midnight, rushing to the Chonghai front line without hesitation. He didn't speak for a long time. Just took a deep breath. Is it difficult? It is because of them. Only then can the lights of thousands of houses be extinguished. The wind stirs up dust, the fatigue that crossed his face, but I can't hide that trace of respect. Front line, the flames of war are like a curse. Yu Weifeng's mecha alone, standing among the ruins. The steel complex is full of scars. The energy shield has long been damaged. He gritted his teeth. The strategy of controlling the blackened star. Every swing, all accompanied by harsh energy, passed on the alarm. Unlimited current. The roars of comrades were heard. Brother you withdraw. Leave it to us here. Yu Weifeng shouted. You keep thinking stupid. I withdrew. You will become a living target for the Zerg tribe. Another soldier has red eyes. Look at the armor plate of the mecha on the screen. Already full of cracks. The internal temperature keeps soaring. Brother you really can't fight anymore. Mecha operators are too rare. The hero needs you alive. Brief silence. Yu Weifeng grasped the control stick of the mecha tightly. Fingertips tremble slightly. He knows. That's right. Every mecha pilot who has successfully adapted. They are all national treasures. But he knows better. If he withdraws, people here can't live. But I can bear to see you sacrifice for me. We live and die together. Say it. He suddenly roared, controlling the mecha and jumping up again. The battle axe swept out. Bloodlight. The fire intertwined into a hell. However, just when the heavy crowd was about to completely knock him out, another huge light and shadow fell from the sky. I'm here to support. A young and determined voice came from the communication channel. Yu Weifeng was shocked, sore nose, laughed dumbly. You are finally here. The words just fell. He was completely in a coma. A new mecha warrior took his place. Haishou is a series of repeated battles. The swinging axe tears the sea apart. Subsequently, he evacuated Yu Weifeng to a safe place. Back on the front line again. While he fights. While whispering Nina, brother-in-law, you take a break first. Front line. Leave it to us. And that moment, channels for the entire battlefield. Countless people are shouting the same sentence. Yang Huang will not fall. Daxia is immortal. Within the base, the light stayed on all night. Dr. Wang Yuan just led people to complete final debugging of 5 Lai's mechas. Haven't had time to breathe yet. The light at the other end of the portal flashes again. Dong dong dong. A giant transport truck sail out of the blue-white energy vortex. The carriage opens. A new batch of mechas were neatly placed and none were missing. Quantity, 10 racks. The atmosphere seems to be shaken by these steel giants. Looking at the carts of materials, Wang Yuan was surprised and happy. The corner of his mouth twitched. In the end, I could only smile bitterly and pat my forehead. Alas, this is the trouble of happiness. The assistant was laughing so hard. PhD, your words are too Versailles. To know, These measures are missing, but it is the result of the joint efforts of hundreds of thousands of people from the opposite world. Thousands of scientific research institutes and tens of thousands of factories. Go all out. Only then could we make such a batch. Another researcher is carrying the, while sighing. Yes. With the productivity of our world, it's hard to save up a set. As a result, people are now sending batches here, like cabbage. Also comes with a version update. For a while, the air in the entire R&AMP winking and laughing smiley workshop is full of excitement. Okay. Less emotional. Work more. All I want is to wave my hand. From now on. 24 hours non-stop assembly. Let these guys get to the battlefield as soon as possible. Handflower flying sword. Mechanical raw. Scientists and engineers. Technicians and apprentices working side by side. They know that every hour they finish, one less blood will be left on the front line. At the same time, the other side of the portal, Luo Bupo Supply Command Area also has the same body. Weapons, ammunition, medicines, fuel is being packaged continuously. Loading, send into the light gate. The world of disaster buildings. Qinqiang Army on the southeastern defense line. The Geoline Army of the northwest ancient land. After a long battle, already exhausted to the extreme. Frontline headquarters. The commander's voice is hoarse. Keep fighting like this. Ammo empty. Is it possible that we have to fight the Zerg with a bayonet? How can we fight this battle? The staff was speechless. The atmosphere in the room is so heavy that it can drip with water. The sound of gunfire outside has already become sparse. The artillery crew lay on the ground one by one cleaning out shell casings. That sense of hopelessness, about to engulf the entire front. Just then, the roar of the engine can be heard in the distance. Buzzing, one transport truck after another broke through the flood and drove into the position. The dust has not yet settled. The iron door of the carriage was opened. Box after box of 155mm heavy artillery shells are unloaded from the vehicle. Boxes marked with strategic support materials for the building are piled into a hill. On the road behind, a long array of rocket launchers is approaching. The tail light flashes into a red steel box. The commander was stunned for a few seconds. Then he punched the table hard, burst out laughing. Ha ha. I see hope. When the first round of support ammunition is loaded, the firepower of the two armies of Jinqiang and Imai, like a long slumbering beast being reawakened. The roar of howitzers cracked the night sky again. A swarm of rockets fell into the sea of insects like a meteor shower. The smoke from the thermobaric bomb can be easily avoided, blooming into a mushroom cloud on the horizon. Heaven. A swarm of unmanned bombers skimming at low altitude, precisely dropped high explosive bombs formed a wall of fire. It seems like the whole world is burning. Heavy swarms are coming, but in this hellish sea of fire, blasted into nothingness, blood and smoke turn into tumbling ashes. A soldier whose face was blackened by gunpowder smoke wiped a handful of ashes on my face. Roar at the top of your lungs. But enough. Full firepower. Next second, the whole front roared at the same time. Heavy artillery fire shocked the mountains and rivers. The ground is roaring. The air is trembling. That's the joint roar of two buildings. The echo formed by the convergence of the iron wills of two worlds. With fire and steel. Advice on a pest infestation. For human beings. Reclaim the boundaries of hope. At the same time, the building hinterland of the insect-infested world. Hospitals everywhere are brightly lit. Blood is full of sticky smell. Outside the operating room, one frame after another, the individual frames are pushed forward. Bloody bandage, black armor fragments, telling about the tragedy on the front line. The hospital director stands at the end of the corridor, looking at the rows of injured people with temporary extra beds. His brows were furrowed as if they were about to condense with water. These people are all heroes. But heroes also have to be rescued. But we're almost out of medicine. The chief doctor won't be here soon. There was anxiety in his tone. Dean. Hemostatic needle. Are all the anti-infective drugs at the bottom? If this continues, many of the seriously injured will not survive tonight. Then go to another hospital. Even the wall needs some medicine. The director smiled bitterly and shook his head. I made several phone calls. Everyone is the same. There's no medicine left. The dean leaned against the wall feebly, mouthing in the mouth. Even our medical care. Are we all going to be trapped and die in this insect plague? Stagnant air. There was only a ticking sound in the corridor. Just then, suddenly there was the roar of a truck engine outside. Tears are hot and falling down. Great. There's hope. Our heroes. There's hope. Immediately, the whole hospital is boiling. Nurses are running around pushing medicine boxes. Doctors revitalize. The dying soldier in the ward. I also heard the familiar voice again. On infusion, oxygen concentration increased by 3 points. Don't be afraid, brother. There is medicine. You can live. That night, go deep into the hospital. Hope lights up again. Other side, real-world hero. Since the launch of the Space-Time Gate project, the pace of this world is quietly accelerating. A large number of troops and mechas enter. In just half a month, the Zerg were beaten to a pulp. Even the Zerg Emperor. They all held up the white flag and wanted to surrender and admit defeat. But those who are not from my race must have the same intention. State orders, bulldozing the Zerg. Half a year later, the Zerg race has been wiped out. I was awarded the honor of Doctor in another world. When I returned to Xia Kingdom, I was also awarded the title of Doctor. Countless people came to congratulate, but after a few days, the countdown appears again before my eyes. I knew immediately. A new journey is about to begin.